The story starts with Ichikawa Kyutaro, who is reading a murder encyclopedia in class and is feeling like he's messed up in the head. Meanwhile, his classmates are busy cracking toilet paper jokes, the highbrow stuff. Ichikawa is so tormented that he even considers lashing out at a boy who accidentally bumps into him. But he quickly realizes it's not exactly the best idea. It's like he thinks he's the star of some twisted psychological thriller or something. I mean, come on my man, you're not the Joker. But he can't help but wonder when his bloodthirsty urges will finally subside. And then there's Anna Yamada, the apple of Ichikawa's eye, or more accurately, the target of his homicidal fantasies. She's the prettiest girl in school and magazine model, but Ichikawa just wants to see her beautiful face writhing in pain. Yikes, he can hardly control himself when she glances at him, and now he wants to make her regret looking down at him. Someone please tell him to calm down. He thinks she will look just as gorgeous as a corpse and her body will belong to him. Well, dunno why he's suddenly acting like a pervert. He gets up and leaves because the classroom gets unbearably loud during lunch break. He enters the library and sees Anna sitting there alone having lunch. He uncomfortably walks in and she says something indistinguishable with her mouth full. Someone please teach the girl some manners. Nevertheless, Ichikawa pretends to understand and walks away from her. He is peeking at her through gaps in the bookshelves, wondering if this is his chance to kill her, and decides against it. He just observes her as she finishes her rice cake and opens a bag of potato chips. Ichikawa is shocked since they just had lunch, and she is now smiling and tapping while finishing the party-sized packet of chips. Man, let the girl enjoy her food in peace. He turns around and starts thinking of ways to kill her, but she seems to be working on her presentation for social studies. Ichikawa notices that Anna doesn't use a pencil first for reference and directly uses a pen to write, and ends up running out of space while writing the heading. Classic rookie mistake. However, he can't help but notice that she's looking for her box cutter, and he considers lending it to her until he realizes that might come off as a little creepy. Can't blame the guy for being cautious in today's world, right? He decides to take the risk anyway, and to his surprise, Anna is actually nice about it. She smiles and thanks him for decreasing her workload, and Ichikawa feels like he's on top of the world, until he realizes that she hasn't returned the box cutter yet. Panic sets in as he frantically chases after her in the hallway. Of course, Anna's got her own problems to deal with, like her friend accusing her of hoarding snacks. Hey, who doesn't love a good snack, right? But Anna's a sweetheart and runs back to Ichikawa to give him the rest of the chips. MC thinks he's hit the jackpot with Anna's leftovers, but she quickly puts the packet directly over her mouth to get the last few chips out. That's not very ladylike, but who can argue with a beautiful model? Her friend starts screaming about her making him do her dirty work, and Ichikawa slumps to the floor because he didn't get a chance to murder her. He spends the rest of the day thinking about his box cutter in her pencil case, but is surprised to find it on his desk the next day. He touches it, and it's still warm, making him believe she carried it in her hands all the way to school so she wouldn't forget. Who knew a box cutter could be so romantic? Their teacher announces it's time for them to give their group presentations, but Anna is confused when she sees the poster is different from what she prepared. Her friend told her she had redone it because Anna made it messy with food stains. She even used a chocolate stain to make it part of the heading. Ichikawa is furious since he thinks Anna worked hard on it, and her friend is jealous of her beauty. He starts cursing girls in general for being devious, but he notices that Anna seems unbothered. She and her friend group go first and give their presentation while Ichikawa and his group go next talking about their research on sustainable resources. However, while he is giving his presentation, she seems quiet and starts crying. To make matters worse, Ichikawa's obsession with Anna has him thinking that the entire class is staring at her, when in reality, they're just looking at a helicopter. Classic Ichikawa. But he's not going to let this moment pass him by, so he tears down his own poster to distract the class. Hey, whatever works, right? But here's the kicker: when he looks back at Anna, she's happily watching the helicopter. Talk about a plot twist. Ichikawa is more confused than ever, but hey, at least he got to make a dramatic statement in front of the class. Maybe next time he'll bring a helicopter of his own to really steal the show. Anna sits on Kobayashi's lap, and the boys behind MC start making perverted jokes about them. They want to be friends with benefits with Anna, but he is not having any of it. He's ready to murder them, as usual. One of the boys, Kanzaka, starts talking about how he's not into pretty girls and would prefer someone less attractive, like Hara. Poor Hara. Later, MC goes to the library and sees Anna there, enjoying some snacks. Hara enters because someone asked her to meet there, but she refuses Anna's offer of food because she's on a diet. Kanzaka then enters, and MC is hiding behind a shelf, afraid he might be about to ask Hara out. When Kanzaka finds out about Hara's diet, he tells her that he likes her just the way she is, and that she doesn't need to lose weight. Anna figures out what's going on, but then MC accidentally drops a book, making everyone suspicious of someone else's presence. They think it's a cat, so Anna starts coughing to signal it to him. He gets the hint and meows while Anna gets up with the excuse to check what's happening, but actually wants to help him. She finds him behind the bookshelf and starts mewing too, which makes Hara and Kanzaka burst out laughing. They become friends, united by their love of cats. Isn't that just perfect? MC is on his way home from school and decides to stop at the store to purchase the magazine that Anna has been featured in. But he doesn't want to go inside in his school uniform, so he changes into a heavy metal goth t-shirt. As one does. Once inside, he finds the magazine but is interrupted as Anna walks in. He runs and hides behind a shelf so she can't see him, like a true ninja. Two girls enter to show interest in buying the magazine, but Anna acts all awkward, trying to get them to notice her and fangirl around her. Unfortunately, they get uncomfortable and leave. Poor Anna, it's tough being famous. Undeterred, Anna stands with a pen in her hand ready to give out autographs, but no one recognizes her. She even tries to place her magazine on top of another pile to get more people to buy it, but the shop attendants just fix it without paying attention to her. When she leaves dejectedly, MC realizes that she has a cringeworthy side to her personality as well. Feeling guilty for the two customers Anna scared off, Ichikawa buys the magazine and goes home to read it. But after seeing Anna's pictures, he throws those in the trash, pretending not to care. Of course, he can't help but see the magazine from the corner of his eye and stays up all night reading it. We've all been there, Ichikawa. Anna may not have gotten the attention she was hoping for at the store, but she'll always have Ichikawa to secretly obsess over her. The next day, while walking to school, Ichikawa sees Anna talking to another boy and immediately assumes he is her boyfriend. He accepts this fact as the way of the world and goes to stand next to them on the sidewalk. He overhears the boy, Haruya Nanjo, telling her about an app called Line and assumes he is hitting on her. Classic teenage jealousy. As they start walking, Ichikawa trails a short distance behind them, eavesdropping on their conversation. Not very good manners, but he can't help himself. Haruya asks Anna about her social media accounts, but she seems clueless about them. MC thinks she's playing dumb because how could anyone not know about social media, especially a magazine model? Haruya persists, asking Anna how she stays in touch with her friends. Anna replies that they read each other's minds by tuning their brains to the same wavelength. Haruya is impressed and asks her to read his mind, but Anna distracts him by asking for ice cream. Priorities right? Haruya continues to compliment Anna as he moves closer to her and calls her cute. He continues by calling her funny, and she is actually enjoying it as she asks for more. This only makes Ichikawa more miserable, and he falls further behind. Haruya insists Anna should know about Line so they can talk more. He even holds her hand, and she seems to respond positively because she doesn't let go, leaving Ichikawa's eyes wide open as he pretends not to care. Anna takes out her phone to install the app when Ichikawa has had enough and something snaps inside him. He cannot tolerate this open flirting any longer and decides to take action. In a brief moment of insanity, he sends his bike flying at full speed past Haruya and Anna, startling them both. Anna's friend Chi witnessed the whole incident since she was walking behind him, and everyone rushes over to see the bike, which had unfortunately landed in the water. She tells Anna that Ichikawa had intentionally sent his bike flying. Intrigued, she asks MC about what happened, but he's embarrassed, so he quickly tries to cover himself by saying, "I accidentally hit the gas instead of the brakes." Wait, gas on a bicycle? Anna starts laughing uncontrollably and calls him funny, which of course makes time stop for him as he starts to feel butterflies and sees no one but Anna in his universe. The next day starts with our MC thinking of writing a book based on a boy who gets transported to another world. Why is it always about being isekai? The boy is cursed with black magic and dooms anything he touches. The design of the heroine looks familiar to Yamada. MC then visits the nurse's office even though he looks totally fine. There he sees Yamada lying next to the nurse's bed. MC explains that he had a severe headache, that's why he's at the nurse's office. Yamada seems to have a stomach ache due to eating too many candies. Yamada hands MC a pill, who gets excited when he notices that he'll be drinking from the same glass that Yamada's lips have touched. This kid needs some milk. But there he notices that Yamada left her shirt. MC couldn't hold himself and he starts to sniff the shirt as the nurse hands him the shirt to return it. He repeatedly blames a creature inside his skull for his pervy actions. Later, MC returns to his class where the boys, 12 years kids, would ask the girls if they'd touch themselves. A boy hands MC a note and asks him to give it to Yamada. He swaps the note with his sketch and gives it to Yamada. Moments later, he continues his sketch. Meanwhile, the boys come up with a game that reveals someone's favorite yoga position. The boy approaches the girls and asks them to hold his hand. The way the girls are going to hold their fists will reveal their favorite yoga position. These kids and their theory. But a girl suspects him and asks him to do this test with his friends first. Well, that backfired. Anyways, the girls find various methods to touch his hand while the boys start to make weird assumptions. Later at the library, Yamada tries to open Ichikawa's fist to find her missing piece of candy. MC also uses their theory and assumes Yamada's favorite position. Kid is getting brainwashed. Later on the basketball court, the coach asks the kids to split into a team of 5 people. Yamada refuses when her friend asks her to stand in the defense. Yamada has an upcoming photo shoot, so she needs to lose weight by running. She has curves, no idea what weight she is talking about. MC then wonders how open Yamada is, but yet he doesn't know her well. MC defines Yamada's personality as easy to murder. As MC was still thinking, he got hit by the basketball. MC was about to throw the ball in anger. It turns out Yamada was the one to throw that ball to Ichikawa. Ichikawa's rage immediately calms down, and he returns the ball calmly. We all know where this is going. MC notices that Yamada is staring at him while blushing. Yamada gets hit in the face by the basketball as she was distracted by looking at Ichikawa. Yamada's nose starts to bleed due to the hit. MC starts to get worried as he sees the blood flowing from Ichikawa's nose. The coach then takes Yamada to the nurse's office along with Kobayashi. MC secretly walks into the nurse's office. He is shocked when the coach tends to call it Yamada's parents. The situation seems a bit serious. MC hides under the nurse's bed. MC sees Yamada's bloody tissues. Hopefully the kid doesn't do anything pervy with that. While talking with her mother, Yamada starts to cry, because due to her injury, Yamada can't go for the photo shoot. After seeing Yamada cry, MC also starts to cry unintentionally. Yamada accidentally drops her stuff on the ground where he notices that she has framed his sketch. It touches Ichikawa's heart. That's when MC realizes that he likes Yamada. Later in the classroom, the pervy boys gather together. One of the boys has Yamada's bloody tissue and starts to flex it. Are they really 12-year-old kids? That pisses MC, and as he stands to confront them, MC notices blood spots on his shirt. Turns out when he was crawling his way out of the nurse's office, his shirt got touched with Yamada's blood on the floor. MC sits immediately while trying to hide the stains. The next day, Yamada shows up at the school with a bandage on her nose. Everyone approaches her and asks her what happened. Yamada tells everyone the reason. She gets tired of explaining it to everyone, so Kobayashi writes the reason why Yamada has an injured nose on the bandage so people would stop asking her. Yamada starts to cry and hugs Kobayashi as she still is sad, due to the photo shoot. As Yamada is still hugging Kobayashi, the pervy boys start to get pervy thoughts. Moments later, MC was walking into the school and he saw Yamada standing on the stairs. Yamada is still crying and she runs out of tissues. MC wants to give her tissues to cry off, but he's too shy to hand her straight away. MC goes to the library where he leaves multiple tissue packets. As Yamada picks up the tissue, but instead of wiping her tears, she cleans her hands after eating snacks. That made MC happier as he saw Yamada smiling. Our MC is having thoughts about what he meant by saying, "I like her." He's confused if he loves her because he doesn't desire to go on a date with her or even spend romantic time with her. While having lunch, MC notices that a girl is staring at Yamada. It was because Yamada was stealing milk. MC follows her to the library where he realizes that he stole the milk pack so she could make Narun. Yup, that's the name of the candy. Before Yamada would add the candy to the milk pack, MC interrupted her and asked her to use a bowl from the EC room. Yamada asks him to bring the bowl in an orderly way. With hesitating, MC runs to get the bowl. Where did that Sigma personality go? Though halfway Yamada joins him, Yamada then pretends to be better than Gordon Ramsay just for making Narun. The EC room seems to be locked, so they decide to steal a beaker from the science lab. Yamada dips Ichikawa's finger into the sweet dish so he could taste him while she drinks the whole. As Yamada is drinking the syrup, their teacher catches them in the lab. Yamada drops the syrup on her thighs as she panics. MC tries to explain to the teacher that the scenario seems a bit awkward. Later, while cleaning the school, a girl named Rin approaches Yamada, but before she can say anything, Yamada's handkerchief falls down the window and she runs down to get it. Rin's friend Serena tells her to apologize to Yamada for something she did unintentionally. Rin gets pissed and says that Serena has changed now, all she does is hang over her, and Rin runs off. Moments later, MC and Yamada are in the library. He notices that Rin is also standing there. Maybe she came to apologize. MC tries to walk away as he wants to give them space. Yamada calls him and asks him to take a selfie with her so she may swap the faces with the new filter. MC straight up denies her offer and runs outside the library where he meets Serena. Yamada calls Rin and shows her the picture. She doesn't even remember or care about what Rin did. Yamada takes a selfie with Rin using the swap filter and laughs. Rin starts to feel embarrassed and she suddenly starts to apologize. Turns out Rin was the one to hit the ball at Yamada's face. Yamada acts generously and even asks Rin for candies. As Rin walks out, Serena apologizes to Rin for forcing her to apologize. While walking home, Smarty literally is carrying his cycle. MC notices the fact that everyone cares so much about Yamada's nose. He thinks it is because she's a model. As he was thinking, Yamada appeared next to him. Yamada asks for a lift. MC seems shy, but he accepts to give her a lift. Yamada sits at the back of the cycle like how boys sit and asks him to drop her at Muroka's shop. MC mentions that he is part of the data processing club, to which Yamada replies that she will also join the same club. As they reach the shop, Yamada hands MC a juice bottle, who seems surprised because Yamada barely shares anything. So MC gives her the cap of the juice, which has a few drops in it. Yamada walks away blushing. I mean, it is a high school romance after all. The next day, the teacher asks the class if they know who threw the candy wrappers at the library. Yamada straight up lies that it wasn't her, though it was obvious, so the teacher calls her to the office. The teacher gets busy, so Yamada is off the hook for now. Later, MC goes for lunch with his sister and seems embarrassed to spend time with her. That's where Yamada and her friends walk next to Ichikawa. As Yamada's group is sitting behind MC, he eavesdrops on their conversation. MC goes to buy more snacks, and that's where Yamada joins him. Yamada mentions that she wants to be friends with his sister. MC then asks her why she came here, so Yamada starts making excuses. Turns out Yamada came to the counter just so she could talk to Ichikawa. As MC realizes that, he starts to panic while ordering. He buys an ice cream from Yamada, but gets too shy to hand it to her. Later at school, MC seems to be looking for Yamada, but that's when she appears behind him. As Yamada is about to go to the teacher's office, she asks MC to accompany her. The teacher accuses Yamada of bringing snacks to the school. Yamada seems to neglect these allegations, and MC starts defending Yamada. My guy is straight up lying for Yamada. Even though they were caught red-handed in the library, MC starts to trick the teacher, and as a result, they both walk off. The teacher seems happy as he sees MC helping someone. As they walk into the hall, Yamada gives MC a candy. Yamada asks MC to chat with her more, and he turns all red from blushing. The class gets an assignment in which they have to visit multiple shops and write a report on them. NC seems to be less interested because he wants to visit crime scenes or drug cartels to make a report. He actually likes dark corners and murder mysteries. The teacher asks the class to make a group of 6 students who share the same interests. As always, MC sits all alone as he has no friends to make a group. He gets called out by the pervy boys group and they ask him to join them. MC accepts their offer and joins them. The pervy boys notice that their group is still short of 2 members, so they immediately split their group. Now you'll know why I call them the pervy boys group. Oda and Adaki, 2 people of that pervy group, approach the girls and ask them to let them join. Yamada's friend Sakine immediately rejects him. MC seems relieved. The girls are ready to take anyone and accept for them. Sakine tells the boys that the girls will discuss and qualify 2 people who will join their group. The first person to get qualified by the girls is Kanzaki. But Kanzaki doesn't want to join their group. MC suggests Kanzaki to join Hara's group, which is full of nerds, and they will match his level. Kanzaki seems convinced, but now 3 people are left. MC fights his way to join Yamada's group. She literally could just ask the girls and they would take homeboy in. Adachi also succeeds in joining them. Later in the library, MC seems to think that Yamada would find him desperate for the way he fits his way in her group. Yamada then walks in with Hara while MC watches them sneakily. Turns out Yamada sneaked in some snacks to eat with Hara. Wasn't she a model who cared about her weight? Hara rejects Yamada's offer and says that she's on a diet. She only came to the library to talk to her. Yamada starts to get excited because she realizes that Hara came here for her and not for the food. Most probably she's excited because she doesn't have to share now. Turns out Kanzaki and Hara are sort of dating, and Hara wishes to lose weight so she could look more pretty. MC is eavesdropping on all their conversations. Hara tells Yamada that they went on a shopping date together. The pervy boy is making progress there. Hara then asks Yamada if she ever had a relationship. Yamada claims that she has never been in a relationship. That gives MC some relief. Yamada reveals that she has the urge to share a pair of earbuds if she ever had a boyfriend. Yamada takes a selfie with Hara, but in that picture, we can see MC sneaking from behind. Kid got caught in 4K. Hara doesn't mind if MC hears their conversation because he has no friends to share that information with. That must have hurt deeply. Later, when MC is about to leave the school, it starts raining and MC wears his raincoat. Suddenly, he notices Yamada standing. She asks to borrow Ichikawa's raincoat so she can go and buy herself an umbrella. MC notices that Yamada left her bag and wallet at the school, so he runs off to Yamada in the rain. Yamada asks MC to take out her wallet from the bag, but as he puts his hand in the bag, he notices that she already has an umbrella. Yamada makes an excuse that the umbrella is broken. MC then places her wallet in her pocket while both of them are blushing. Turns out, Yamada lied so she could spend time with him and buy some snacks too. Yamada then returns and so she shares an ice cream with Ichikawa. MC asks if she loves or hates the ice cream but gets distracted. Right when MC leaves, Yamada shouts to him and says, "I'm practically in love." It is a mystery whether she was talking about the ice cream or herself. The next day, the whole group starts to visit various places for their report. At the manga store where Adachi starts to ask pervert questions and even fantasies about an idol's chest size. We all saw that coming. At the manga store, they meet a writer who lets them take a peek at the unreleased Baiki's manga, which excites Ichikawa. While returning from the manga store, the lifts get rushed with many people. Yamada seems to be standing too close to Ichikawa. In order to control himself, MC closes his eyes. Can't believe he's the same guy who was sniffing her clothes a few episodes earlier. Though he could smell Yamada's fragrance and feel her breath. Anyway, as the lift reaches its destination, MC opens his eyes to see that Yamada is still standing so close to him even after everyone leaves and the lift gets empty. They stare at each other for some moment and Yamada walks away, so they walk together while talking about mangas. MC then takes a washroom break, and as he comes back he realizes that only Yamada is standing there. Turns out everyone took off on the subway because these two forgot to ask them to wait. So MC and Yamada get left behind together. Now that MC and Yamada have been abandoned by their group mates, they start to panic. Yamada takes the whole blame onto her and starts to cry. Luckily, the next train would arrive in about 7 minutes. MC starts to feel guilty, so he makes it up by buying Yamada a milk tea. MC thinks that it's all his fault. He should have announced that he's about to take a bathroom break, which eventually makes Yamada laugh, and she cheers up, and so the train arrives. On the train, Yamada holds on to MC so they won't split up. Yamada also mentions that Hara is having a secret relationship. She hints MC about having a secret relationship. Moments later, they catch up with their group. The next day, as MC is riding to school, he realizes that he has begun to enjoy school. It is because he has started to like Yamada. Yamada seems to be waiting for MC outside the school. As MC arrives, Yamada hands him the manga that she previously mentioned. Yamada gets so excited that she spoils the whole manga for Ichikawa. Yamada walks back to the school gate so MC wouldn't know that she was waiting just for him. Moments later, Yamada visits MC at the library even though she is supposed to be busy with her work. Yamada notices that MC is reading some other book and not her manga. She starts to force MC to read that manga right now. She starts to drag Ichikawa's book, but gets tripped. Ichikawa's face bumps right into Yamada's chest. Talk about a dream come true moment. Both of them apologize to each other. As Yamada is about to leave, MC stops her for no reason. He has no idea why he stopped her and started asking random questions. He starts to read the manga as he reaches home. The next day at the school, the first thing Yamada asks MC is about the manga. She repeatedly keeps asking him about the manga, so he decides to read it at the school. As MC starts reading the manga, he gets interrupted by Adaki. Adaki suspects MC if he's dating Yamada, but he immediately covers it up by saying we're just classmates. Adaki seems to have a crush on Yamada. He keeps asking MC about her. Adaki realizes that he likes Yamada because he isn't able to wank to her. How does a 12-year-old even know about such stuff? According to Adaki, you cannot wank to the girl you like. MC starts to gain interest in the topic. MC wonders if Adaki's theory is right. He is going to try tributing Yamada. Adaki starts to adore Yamada's body, which grosses out MC, and he walks out. MC realizes that Adachi has always talked dirty about Yamada, but he never felt offended before. He questions himself because he has started to like her now. MC walks into the class and sits next to Yamada. Ichikawa's eyes turn to Yamada's thighs unintentionally, so he walks out of the class. As MC walks towards the library, he sees Yamada standing in agony. How did she even get there so fast? Yamada seems sad because the staff sets a new rule that eating in the library is not prohibited. Yamada believes that someone snitched the staff about her, and that's why they have set up this poster. MC and Yamada start to wonder about the identity of the person who ratted them. Before calling out names and suspecting their class fellows, they decide to confront the library teacher. The library teacher mentions that she found a candy wrapper at the library, so she had to remind the kids about the rules. Moments later, while Yamada and MC are sitting in the library, MC wonders if this is the last time Yamada will ever come to the library. As Yamada was never interested in reading books, she only goes to the library to eat snacks. MC wonders if that's the end of his bond with Yamada. At that exact moment, Yamada opens a pack of chocolate and starts to eat it. There's nothing that can stop this girl from eating. Yamada knew the rule of not eating in the library from the beginning. A poster doesn't affect Yamada. That's when MC notices the library teacher walking behind Yamada, and she's about to get caught red-handedly. The teacher is about to look at Yamada. MC starts to rush. As Yamada is about to take a bite of the chocolate, MC immediately reaches out his hand and holds Yamada's hand. The chocolate gets hidden between their hands. The library teacher looks at them holding hands, so she immediately walks out to give them privacy. Do such teachers even exist? MC then falls back while Yamada glares at him while blushing. MC apologizes for holding her hand with consent. He explains that he did it to save her. The chocolate seems to be melted onto Yamada's hand. Yamada's expression seems to be complicated as she asks MC to go away. Turns out she wanted to lick her hands, that's why she asked him to go. MC walks out of the library in a stumbled manner. But the next day everything seemed back to the way it was. MC is at his home, using his laptop. He can't stop thinking about Yamada. MC then Googles Yamada's modeling name, which is Anna Aquino, and starts to stalk. Though he gets pissed when he looks at the search bar where it says, Anna Aquino is ugly. MC starts to trash talk about the people on the internet, but that's when he notices the word kobaku. MC immediately starts to research it, and it turns out to be a TV show in which Yamada is featured. That show airs every Tuesday. That's where MC realizes that today is Tuesday and rushes towards their TV. At home, unfortunately, the show ends right before he reaches the TV. The next day, as everyone is getting ready for their marathon run, MC is continuously glaring at Yamada. He intends to keep their relationship to where it is. Anyways, as the marathon race is about to begin. As the race begins, everyone starts to run on their own. MC's misogynistic side appears as he realizes that Yamada is about to cross him in racing. He boosts up his speed, and on the other hand, Yamada does the same. Soon after Yamada catches up to MC, she holds MC and asks him to slow down. But MC's pride wouldn't allow him, so he again runs ahead of her. As soon as Yamada takes off her gym shirt, MC's speed automatically gets slower, and so Yamada covers the distance. Can't blame the boy. Yamada used her wild card. MC can't help himself to stop staring at Yamada's chest, but he realizes that Yamada is wearing her shirt backward. As MC tells that to Yamada, instead of slowing down, Yamada flips her shirt while running. That trick doesn't slow Yamada down. Instead, MC gets behind her to hide his boner. Yamada turns her head behind and sees MC's right eye for the first as he is running, Both of them get distracted by each other so much that they start to run out of the track. As a result, MC ends up in last place. As Yamada is sitting exhausted, she reaches out her hand to MC, and so he holds her hand to give her a boost in standing up. And this kid was a misogynist before he saw those jiggles. Moments later in the classroom, even MC is confused about what to call that holding hand moment. As MC puts his phone down, he notices the name on the gym shirt, and that's when he realizes that he has switched gym shirts with Yamada. That's where MC eavesdrops on Yamada's friend discussing that wearing the clothes of your boyfriend is a love sign. At this point, MC wants to take back his gym shirt, but he doesn't find the right opportunity. MC notices that Yamada is wearing his gym shirt as the class begins. He starts to freak out that anyone can notice her at this point. As the lunch break begins, Yamada calls MC herself and takes him to the nurse's office to return his gym shirt. As Yamada takes off his shirt, she weirdly sniffs the shirt. Yamada takes MC to measure their heights. As Yamada is setting up the scales, his chest is pointed directly towards MC, so he takes his step back and asks Yamada to measure her height. MC had to use a chair to check on Yamada's height. The next day, as MC walks into class, he notices everyone talking about Yamada appearing in a movie with a famous actor and director. MC notices that Yamada doesn't seem that excited. Anyways, as the class starts, the teacher asks everyone to pick a random number, and they would sit according to it. As MC sits in his new spot, he starts to pray that Yamada would sit next to him, though Yamada does indeed sit close to MC but not next to him. As the lecture begins, MC gets in trouble when he tries to look at the board because Yamada is sitting at the front. Adaki gets lucky and ends up sitting next to Yamada, which pisses off MC. Hara notices him struggling, so she shares her notes for him to copy. Though Yamada doesn't seem too happy about that. Yamada seems jealous of MC for interacting with Hara, so MC calms her and says, "All I see is you." Both of them start to blush, and so Hara walks in. Moments later, MC and Yamada are sitting at the library. MC reveals that he has changed the seating arrangements, and now Yamada shall sit where MC previously sat because he couldn't see the board. Poor Adaki. MC then tells Yamada to not be stressed about the movie. Yamada gets excited and asks him if he's into movies. Yamada then reveals that her role in the movie is to be the daughter of the police officer who is chasing the main character. MC notices that Yamada sounds more cheerful than before. I guess she just wanted to share it with him. Yamada tells her big line in the movie, which is, "You're such a creep." She starts to rehearse this line repeatedly while looking at MC. Everyone starts to look at them, so MC suggests Yamada go somewhere private. They end up sitting in the storage room while MC stands too close to Yamada due to the closed space. As MC says that he might go and see the movie, Yamada gets so happy to hear this as she walks out of the room. Later, MC watches the TV show in which Yamada is featured. MC starts to feel a bit sad when he notices that the show cuts almost every scene in which Yamada is about to speak. The next day, MC sees Yamada telling her friends about her featuring in the show, even though he thought that she might be uncomfortable sharing that detail. A few days later, Yamada was running towards Sakine and she seemed very worried. Yamada explains that Kobayashi is having a cold, so she can't come to school. Yamada then sits on Sakine's lap. MC seems to be observing Yamada's behavior. To make Yamada move from Sakine's lap, she surprisingly attempts to grab Yamada's chest. As the girls are doing weird stuff, MC is trying his best to distract himself away from the girls' activities. Later, everyone seems to be stressed after the test. Yamada walks towards Kana and Yamada starts to compare herself to Kana, which kind of pisses Kana off. Moments later, MC and Yamada are doing group study in the library, but this time Kana also joins them. MC helps Kana and solves all her questions, though Yamada doesn't seem to be pleased by that. Kana then mentions that the school is holding a parent-teacher meeting soon. Kana also reveals the fact that Yamada talks a lot about MC in front of her, which makes MC feel embarrassed. MC believes that Yamada must have made fun of him in front of her friends. Kana then exposes Yamada's dumb moments, which eventually makes MC smirk. It makes Yamada feel more jealous because she never made MC laugh or even smirk. Kana also notices that MC doesn't hesitate when he's talking to Yamada, even though his personality is quite the opposite when he interacts with other girls. Someone please take Kana away. Later, the parent-teacher meeting day arrives. As MC is coming down from the stairs, he sees Adaki's mother pulling her son's ear and taking him away while Adaki is feeling pain and embarrassment. MC starts to feel frightened, and as he walks towards her mother, he notices Yamada sitting with her mother. Weirdly, MC recognizes her mother by her look. This kid's taste in women is complicated. Yamada's mother is a strict woman, as she repeatedly tells Yamada to mind her legs and posture. Even MC's mother gets scared as she is sitting next to Yamada. MC's mother introduces herself to Yamada, and Yamada gets excited. MC's mother asks Yamada to get along with MC. At this point, MC hides behind a wall and spectates their conversation. Yamada nervously tells MC's mother that they already get along. MC's mother then hands Yamada a throat lozenge. It's basically a medical candy, and in return, Yamada gives her candy. Anyways, as the meeting ends, he and his mother start to walk. MC's mother seems impressed because the teacher complimented MC's class participation, but he totally ignores her and starts to walk fast because he doesn't want to get spotted with his mother. I don't get it. What's with these kids and their urge to avoid family bonding in front of the public? MC's mother then shows MC the candy Yamada gave to her. She even starts to praise Yamada's appearance while Yamada is secretly walking behind them. MC's mother then asks MC if he knows the girl she is talking about, and MC says the name Yamada. Both MC's mother and her son look back and notice Yamada standing while blushing. Yamada hurriedly walks away. The next day, MC and Yamada are sitting at the library where Yamada mentions that MC's mother is adorable. Yamada seems to be sitting very close to MC, so he stands up. As Kobayashi is home, Yamada asks MC to teach her science while she drags the history book out. The librarian walks in. MC notices the throat lozenge at the table. He starts to panic because if the librarian sees the packet of throat lozenge, they'll be in huge trouble. Since the library strictly prohibits eating inside, MC slowly whispers to Yamada to hide the lozenge. Weirdly, Yamada jumps and sits on the ground while MC hides the lozenge. Who knew she had a whisper fetish? MC seems to be confused as he sees Yamada turning all red. Later, it is raining while MC is cycling. He feels unlucky because it started to rain as soon as he went outside. He passes by Yamada, who stops MC. Since Yamada has an umbrella, she puts her stuff on the cycle and decides to join. MC denies her offer because it's too dangerous to cycle with two people on a wet street, so both of them go on their way. As MC reaches his home, he notices that Yamada left her stuff on his bicycle. At first, MC thinks that they are just snacks, but as he sneaks inside, he notices a pack of tampons. MC instantly leaves to find Yamada. As he reaches the nearby subway, MC spots Yamada, so he finally manages to return her bag. Yamada slowly whispers in his ears that these tampons aren't for her periods. MC replies very normally to that information and returns home. Moments later, MC stalks Yamada's pictures till he falls asleep, and so he gets a weird dream in which multiple Yamadas of various sizes are following him. MC wakes up in a sweat and realizes that he's got a cold. The next day, Yamada comes by his house to hand him some food. MC then invites her home for tea. He starts to freak out. As MC goes to his room and is about to change his shirt, he starts to get dizzy and so he passes out. Moments pass by and Yamada starts to get worried, so she walks into MC's room. Yamada immediately rushes as she sees MC on the floor shirtless. She holds him up to the bed and helps him wear a shirt. Imagine MC's mother walks in. MC is feeling so dizzy that he thinks all of this is just a dream. His head even falls on Yamada's chest. Yamada then hugs MC. Later, when MC wakes up, he whispers the name Yamada, but as he opens his eyes, he sees Kana sitting there. She mentions that Yamada left a note for him, which says, "Get well soon." The next day, Yamada walks into the classroom and asks Ichikawa if he has the line app. Looks like she's finally caught up with present times. Of course, he misinterprets and thinks she's making fun of him as he tries to defend himself, thinking even people without friends use Line. So what if it's just to text his family? He tells her he does, and she immediately whips out her phone, showing him her funny sticker collection. She offers to send them to him, but he refuses. By this time, it's pretty obvious she's trying to add him and states how their class doesn't have a group chat, especially when the other classes and clubs do. She questions whether the data processing club has one, but Ichikawa says he doesn't know. When Yamada insists they should ask about it, he admits he doesn't want to because it's such a small club that if he's not part of the group chat, it's because they don't want him there. Yamada puts her head down and sprawls on the table in the library, her usual spot, and Ichikawa wonders if she even knows what it's like to feel left out. It's the 16th of December and Moko excitedly claims she would do anything to have a boyfriend for Christmas. She's smart enough to know sitting around and wanting one isn't going to get her anywhere and thinks of exchanging line-ids with boys in her class. The other two girls don't pay her much attention, but Yamada gets up from her seat approving of it as a great idea. Moko is certain it won't be hard for Yamada to find a boyfriend. Yamada goes to ask Ichikawa, but Moko compares it to a level 99 going to fight slimes. Furthermore, she argues that they're going to ask everyone, so Moko agrees and asks him first. This girl literally stares with her mouth wide open because she can't seem to ask him outright. Moko shoves Yamada away before she gets a chance to ask him, claiming she needs to handle the higher-ups. Ishimuro, for instance, is average-looking but is a track team ace and the brightest in the class. It's just Moko who wants his ID, and it turns out he and Yamada live in the same building. Moreover, their parents get along and they do talk sometimes. Ichikawa overhears and knows he can't stop her, but he realizes if that's what she was doing when she asked him earlier that morning. It's a moment of instant regret for him, as he winces at the failed opportunity. Later that night, Ichikawa lies miserably in his own bed as he remembers her trying to exchange IDs with him. He tries to console himself thinking she has tons of friends, so it's probably no big deal for her. He starts overthinking about how Yamada probably likes guys who are distant and curt, but really sweet and charming under the surface. He gets all hyped up and stares at the only picture he has of them together. His train of thought gets worse as he tries to calm his nerves and not give himself any hope. The next day, he arrives at school only to see Haruya chatting with Yamada talking about the latest game. He even has the audacity to invite her to his place so they play together. Ichikawa sits watching this thinking at least the man can make an effort to hide his real motives. Kobayashi shuts him up saying Yamada only plays Animal Cross Seas, but Yamada interrupts asking her about that game, destroying her cover-up. Ichikawa secretly praises her for keeping up an iron defense. Moko notices a girl standing beside Haruyo and Yoshida wonders if she's his girlfriend. But if she was, he wouldn't be approaching Yamada like this, right? Moko corrects her saying he's a real polygamist. She seems to know a lot about him. Haruya ends up inviting Kobayashi as well, claiming he wants her to come right from the start. Ichikawa watches the entire scene from the sidelines and observes he's just putting on a facade when Yamada is all he cares about. Poor Kobayashi. He thinks he's actually interested in her. Ichikawa can't help but think of him as a pushover. He slumps and takes his place at his desk, still in disbelief as to how Kobayashi's defense could crumble so easily. Suddenly, he overhears Yamada and Kobayashi talking in private when Anna tells her she won't be going. Kobayashi is indifferent and says she'll just take Moko instead. Yamada tries to warn her not to go, saying there'll be no fun. However, Ichikawa understands she's too nice to be directly mean to her friend and tells her she's being used as bait. Later that day, Ichikawa finds Yamada crying all alone in the library. Oops, she caught him worrying about her. He enters and she asks if he plays video games, and he responds that he does on Switch. He gets a flashback of his childhood calling the Switch and its controls dumb. The memories he's sealed away for so long are finally returning. Yamada continues to tell him her father plays video games, so they have everything at home. Suddenly, the girls who were hanging out with Haruya earlier enter and apologize on his behalf for being so forward. They automatically assume she has a boyfriend and is just pretending when she refuses, since she's all famous and needs to keep her private life a secret. She abruptly stands up, smacking her hands on the table, insisting she doesn't have a boyfriend. Ooh, looks more like her telling Ichikawa than the other girls. The girls seem to realize something as they see the two and immediately take their leave. Ichikawa is confused and tells her she shouldn't hang around him in front of other people when the girl returns with Haruyo, who seems just as confused. Ichikawa steps back, but Yamada grabs his face as he looks at them from the corner of his eye. The intruders leave and Yamada gets all awkward again and leaves. Ichikawa walks back to class, concerned that people are going to get the wrong idea about them. Meanwhile, in the classroom, Moko finally breaks it to Kobayashi how she's just being used. Yoshida also joins in, calling him a creep. Kobayashi struggles to hold back tears, and Ichikawa looks up to Yamada to protect her friend's feelings. As school ends for the day, Kobayashi admits to Yamada that she's decided not to go, and the two girls playfully return home. Ichikawa comes across Haruya, who turns around and leaves the moment he sees him. He wonders if people could possibly think that he and Yamada are a real couple, but his thoughts get the better of him. As he stays up overthinking about everything that happened at school, he considers the possibility that he might just be being used to get Haruya off her back. He makes up his mind that she's just been taking advantage of him all along. Yamada enters the classroom, and Ichikawa has stopped going to the library, claiming he doesn't care anymore. He leaves and Yamada follows him out. He quickens his pace to avoid her, but she follows suit. She finally manages to grab his arm and pins him to the wall, but moves back a little, awkwardly asking if he's mad at her. He says he's not and is leaving when Yamada apologizes again. For some reason, Yamada starts bawling like a child, and Ichikawa wonders, what if he was wrong to misjudge her and just looks for an excuse to hate her for no reason? He recalls his childhood of how he never bought video games, no matter how much he liked them, just because he was afraid of getting obsessed. In the present, he tries to tell Yamada that he just had some stuff to do during lunch, and he's not mad at her. She responds by enveloping him in a tight hug, squeezing hard since she's much taller than him. She apologizes, saying it was just a hug to make up, even though he doesn't like physical contact, but he refuses, saying that's not the case. Oh, the sparks are flying. They're standing so close to each other, and Yamada hugs him again. Ichikawa is trying his best not to let himself believe that she might actually like him, and they decide to walk home together. Yamada continues to chatter about the best way to eat natto, and apparently, her secret is turning it around 40 times to make it taste delicious. Ichikawa really doesn't like it, and Yamada abruptly stops her chant and says she's sorry because she's just been going on and on about it. He observes that they have very different senses, likes and dislikes in almost everything. They arrive at a junction where they're supposed to split and go their separate ways, but Yamada grabs onto the rear of his bike, telling him to wait. Is she already obsessed with this dark and brooding hero? She suggests that they should talk some more, and he misinterprets it, thinking she really doesn't have friends to talk to about her natto obsession. He's kind enough to share that he doesn't mind natto and fried rice, and she asks if he's going anywhere over the winter break. He realizes she's changed the subject, but chooses to answer anyway, saying he will be visiting his father's hometown in Akita. She seems to know all about the good food there. Her shoulders slump, and she checks her calendar for the 24th. Ichikawa remembers to return her book that he's been carrying around for quite a while. They seat themselves on a few steps, and he admits he enjoyed the book more than he'd like to admit. She asks him about his favorite part, and Yamada's eyes sparkle and wonder as she exclaims that's the part she likes the most too. She says she'll bring the next one on Monday, and suddenly remembers something that she refuses to share and says goodbye as she heads home. This time it's Ichikawa who can't let her go and tell her to hold up. Moko is disappointed in another Christmas without a boyfriend. It's finally Monday, and Yamada continuously apologizes to Ichikawa because she forgot to bring the book she promised. He's chill about it, but it seems like a big deal for her, and she says she'll bring it the next day. Ichikawa reminds her they'll be on winter break, starting tomorrow, so she smartly plans to meet up somewhere. She builds up the courage to ask for his line ID. God, I can't believe she needed such an elaborate scheme for that, and Ichikawa too is in disbelief. They stay up texting each other most of the night. The next day, MC is standing in the middle of the city, waiting for Yamada. He reveals that he somehow ended up meeting with Yamada. Moreover, he plans to borrow the next volume of that rom-com manga. Though it confuses MC, why did Yamada ask him to meet in Shibuya? At this point, even MC is confused because they could have met at their local spot. Though Ichikawa somehow arrived way earlier, therefore he is standing alone while seeming to wait for Yamada. However, he suddenly spots Yamada. She also seems to arrive early. It confuses MC, so at first he starts to walk around her to confirm if it's really Yamada. Bro can't even recognize his girl, but as MC sees the girl enjoying her food in the middle of the crowd, he instantly recognizes her. Anyways, MC then approaches Yamada and asks her if they are supposed to meet at 2. So, Yamada makes the same excuse as MC did. She said that she left home early so could find the place. Anyways, as MC mentions the manga, Yamada immediately interrupts him. She asks MC to accompany her to a new place that she wants to check out. Therefore, both of them start to walk, though MC notices that the city is crowded at this time. Well, most probably because it's New Year's Eve. Though Yamada doesn't seem to remember the day it is today. MC then weirdly notices that Yamada smells really good. Anyways, MC feels a little low because he thinks that Yamada probably called him so she could run other errands, rather than spending her Christmas Eve with MC. Therefore, MC lowers his speed and decides to not walk side by side. Damn, the amount of overthinking this kid does. Now, as Ichikawa is walking behind Yamada, he instantly sees his reflection in a mirror. He creeps MC out because he realizes that he looks totally like a stalker. Therefore, he lowers his hoodie and takes off his mask. However, that makes Yamada happy as she sees his face, so Yamada decides to hand MC one side of the bag that Yamada is carrying. This way they won't get separated and would carry the weight of that bag together. Hence, they again end up walking side by side. But as MC tries to distance himself from Yamada, she instantly notices it. So Yamada asks him to stick close or he'll get in people's way. Anyways, they arrive at a cafe and Yamada says that she wants to try their pancakes. "And I want to try yours, Yamada." At this point, it starts to feel more like a date, though he doesn't like where this is going, as they are waiting in the queue. Yamada advises MC to avoid going to an amusement park on a first date. We'll count that as a hint. Well, apparently Yamada believes that waiting in line gets awkward, and the relationship starts to fall apart. But since they are waiting in the line themselves, so Yamada says that her theory seems to be wrong, though Yamada immediately realizes that her tongue just slipped. However, MC doesn't understand what just happened. Instead, he comes up with his theory, that the guy should always stand in front of the stairs. Moreover, he thinks that's the reason why Yamada feels embarrassed. Both of them are equally dumb at this point. Anyways, MC asks Yamada to let him stand in front of her. She hesitantly declines, and so both of them try to make awkward eye contact. As Ichikawa asks Yamada about her hair, she describes how her mother does her hair, though it surprises MC since he thought her mother seems pretty strict. So Yamada explains that her mother always acts tough and strict when they are outside. But she's super nice at home, she even calls her Anna. Though as MC calls their bonding cute, it somehow pisses Yamada off, because she never heard Ichikawa say that word before, which confuses MC. I mean fair, she wants MC to call her cute or something. That's why she's pissed. Moments later, they finally manage to get a seat, though Yamada begins to get confused because she can't decide what to pick. However, MC feels relieved because her mood instantly cheers up after looking at the menu. Since MC is acting like he isn't a big fan of desserts, he decides to get a coffee for himself. Though Yamada starts to feel bad as she sees MC not having anything to eat. Therefore, as she apologizes to MC, he starts to hesitate, because he thinks that he somehow messed the situation up. Anyways, after ordering their food, Yamada notices that MC is wearing all black, so she asks him if he likes the color black. That's where MC realizes that he owns nothing but black clothes. However, Yamada also reveals that she loves the color black and has many clothes with that color. Weirdly, Ichikawa says that black clothes would look better on Yamada rather than on himself. He thinks if someone with a fashion sense would wear it, it'd look stylish and cool, whereas MC just wears them because he can't avoid them. Basically, he's trying to say that he isn't a fashionable person. MC wears black because he likes it. MC then instantly realizes that he's literally explaining fashion to a pro model. However, Yamada agrees with MC and reveals that her stylist said the same thing. And as Yamada starts to explain the story of what her stylist said, MC starts to wonder about the times he has messed up today. As MC drinks his coffee, he starts to regret coming with Yamada due to his mess-ups. Since they get along so well at school, MC thought that spending time on New Year's Eve would go great too. So Yamada interrupts MC and asks him to take her photo with her pancakes, though she couldn't resist standing still as she saw her food. Therefore, MC starts to shoot a video of her. She's literally just eating in that video. Yamada then explains that she doesn't plan to upload those pictures. Instead, she sends them to MC, which eventually makes him blush. Moreover, MC starts staring at Yamada's video on the phone, which pisses her off. So Yamada stands and grabs MC by his chin and tells him to look at the real thing. So both of them sit quietly for a while as they are blushing. Later, MC accompanies Yamada in shopping. However, MC again feels embarrassed since Yamada doesn't let him pay at the coffee shop. He literally looks like a kid in front of Yamada. So Yamada starts asking MC which dress she should buy. He doesn't seem to have any interest, so he randomly chooses one. However, Yamada asks him to wait outside while she changes and wears it. MC starts getting creepy thoughts as he realizes that Yamada is changing behind a curtain. Therefore, he tries his best to distract himself from getting a hardwood. And to make the situation more difficult, MC notices Kana entering the same shop with her friends. And so Yamada removes the curtain as she reveals her new dress. Though MC asks Yamada to stay low since he doesn't want his sister to find out. Therefore, Yamada pulls MC and decides to hide in the changing room. Why is it always the changing rooms? Yamada then asks MC why can't MC's sister see them together. So MC promises her that some other time he'll allow her to tell everyone. So MC tells Yamada to buy the dress that she's wearing since he finds her very appealing. And as Yamada faces backward, MC notices her back is revealed, since she hasn't zipped her dress, so he starts to freak out, while Yamada leans towards the wall. Later that night, MC and Yamada return from their hangout. That's where MC starts to share about himself with her. He tells Yamada that he's not a people person, and he's always straightforward. Further, MC reveals that he cuts people off easily. Therefore, he explains that if he stayed today with her, it means that he had fun, so that pleases Yamada, and she starts to wrap a muffler around Ichikawa's neck. Moreover, on their way to the station, both of them stop at the decorated street, which amazes both of them. Anyways, as they arrive at the station, the train arrives, though the train seems to be crowded, so both of them get separated inside the train. Therefore, Yamada holds MC's hand so they may stay together. These kids had more romantic moments in a single day than my whole life. Moreover, even after arriving at their destination, both of them decide to walk to their home while holding hands. At this point, they just don't care if anyone sees them. Both of them are walking quietly and slowly in a dramatic manner. However, MC fears that Yamada might realize how he feels about her. Anyways, Yamada arrives towards her hand, and so they pull their hands back. Before MC would say Happy New Year, Yamada interrupts him. She explains that there are more days till New Year's, and so she expects to see him more before the new year. Hence, both of them excuse each other and start to walk on their own. Though as MC looks back, he realizes that Yamada disappeared. Turns out she was hiding behind the electric pole, and so Yamada jumps in front of MC and wishes him a Merry Christmas. It makes MC feel wholesome, as he feels like Yamada already knows his feelings toward her. Duh, isn't it obvious? Later, when MC is lying on his bed, he again starts overthinking the stuff that he should have done. Moreover, it pisses him off that he spent the whole day with Yamada. While thinking about this stuff, Yamada notices a person sitting next to him. That person is none other than the MC of the manga that Ichikawa is reading. Okay, so now this kid is even having delusions. That person starts to lecture MC about yesterday. Moreover, he asks MC if he thinks he has a chance with Yamada. So MC tells him that they have held hands together and considers that as a sign, though Yamada usually gets touchy with her friends too. And so MC starts to have second thoughts. He doubts that she might be treating him the same as she treats a friend. Therefore, that imaginary person advises MC to man up and try to get in shape. He's literally 14. Then we see Kyotaro having problems sleeping. It begins with Ichikawa spending New Year's Eve at a diner. Moreover, he seems to be sitting between Nanju and Sakine, along with Mamiya. Though there are no interactions, everyone is sitting in awkward silence. How average E-Friends meetup goes. MC defines this situation as a living hell. However, Sakine asks him to switch places with her, so she can spend time with Nanju. Weirdly, MC's hand seems to be broken. Though Nanju asks Ichikawa about Yamada, looks like something happened between Yamada and Ichikawa 4 days ago. It then cuts to Ichikawa, along with his family arriving at Akita. Ichikawa's grandma greets everyone at her home. However, the only problem Ichikawa finds in staying at his grandma's house is sharing a room with Kana. As he enters his room, Ichikawa receives a message from Yamada. She's literally flexing her food to him. However, Ichikawa remembers the time when Yamada mentioned that she always wished to see snow. So he promised Yamada to send her a photo of the snow. Therefore, Ichikawa goes out for a walk in this freezing weather. Things people do for love. As MC goes further into the forest, he sees a mountain and decides to take a photo of it to show Yamada. But as he accidentally walks further, he slips and slides down the hill. Moreover, his phone falls on the top. It takes a while, but Kana finally manages to find him by following his foot trail. Hence, due to the fall, Ichikawa's hand gets broken. Later, the whole family seems to be feasting together, while Kana is feeding MC since his hand is broken. He does realize that he has another hand too, right? Anyways, Ichikawa then sends his selfie to Yamada to show his hand. Later, he receives a video call from Yamada. Turns out Yamada is worried about his hand. However, Ichikawa gets excited as he sees Yamada in her top and pajamas. Furthermore, she's wearing glasses too. Though the kid somehow manages to control himself, so he then tells Yamada about how he got his injury. Anyways, as they were in the middle of their talk, Ichikawa saw Yamada looking to the right and immediately shutting up. Turns out, Kana woke up and now she's spectating their video call. What if he's 13? Every kid deserves privacy. At first, Ichikawa silently stares at Kana, but then he panics and accidentally hangs up the call. Kana finds Yamada cute, so NC says that she's just his classmate, which shocks her even more because she thought that he was just talking to a random streamer, though Ichikawa says that even he doesn't know if Yamada is his friend or what. Bro is literally exposing himself due to nervousness. However, MC realizes if Kana took the hint, she might tease him for eternity. But surprisingly, Kana just asks him to go to sleep as she walks back to her bed. It pisses off Yamada that he hung up on her, though she asks him about what he said to his sister regarding their relationship, to which he replies that they are just friends for now. However, it makes Yamada blush when she gets the hint. Moreover, Yamada asks Ichikawa if she could call him again, so this time he walks out to the hall and talks to her. Yamada starts to have a short talk with him, like if he's hydrated or not. Furthermore, she asks him to drink at the same time as her. Oh, that was quite cringe, but what do we expect from them? Next, she asks him to have a look outside, which gives him goosebumps, so he captures the scenery and sends it to her. However, Ichikawa asks Yamada why she called him today, though she gives no authentic answer. Moreover, these kids kept talking till sunrise, and again, Yamada asked Ichikawa for a weird favor. She asks him to put his hand on his head and pat himself 3 times. On the other hand, Yamada is doing the same, but instead of her own head. She's using her teddy bear's head and assuming that the stuffed toy is Ichikawa. Oh boy, Yamada is in some mood today. She covers herself up by claiming that it's a sleeping trick. Hence, they finally ended their call and called it a day. So the next day, Ichikawa and Kana greet their grandma as they head back to Tokyo. On their way, they stop at a store where he buys a keychain of a dog for Yamada. Anyways, on their way, Kana asks Ichikawa about Yamada. She further says that girls are more than their looks. Their charms are what really matters. At this point, Ichikawa feels like Kana is trying to tell him that Yamada is way out of his league, though he also thinks the same. Moreover, he looks at Kana and realizes that she's the same as him. She always gives up on what she wants before she could regret it. Not sure what Kana has gone through, but she does give off a depressing vibe. However, Ichikawa's full focus is on Yamada right now as he keeps checking his phone. He is even rereading his chat with her. Once again, Kana starts to talk about Yamada, so this time MC reveals Yamada's name to her. It immediately rings a bell in her head. She remembers that someone named Yamada left a note at her house back when MC was sick. However, due to her bad handwriting, Kana assumed that a boy left that note for Ichikawa. I mean, that would be Saz. So now Kana believes that Ichikawa might have a chance with Yamada. As she creepily glares at him, he saw that coming. Moreover, Kana finds Yamada awfully friendly. Therefore, she asks Ichikawa to introduce her to Yamada. As they return home, Kana reveals that she bought the same dog keychain to match her brother, though Ichikawa seems to be in a rush as he walks outside. Turns out he's heading to visit Yamada to return her manga and the scarf she gave him on Christmas. Moreover, he finds this as the perfect opportunity to give her the gift that he bought. On his way, he nearly bumps into a dog that looks exactly like the one on the keychain. And that dog belongs to none other than Yamada herself, so Ichikawa asks Yamada if they were supposed to meet, to which she replies that she thought Ichikawa was injured, so he can't ride a bike. However, it blushes Yamada when Ichikawa asks her if she missed him. Yamada then introduces her dog to him, and so they go to the park. At this point, Ichikawa thinks that buying a non-food gift might be a bit much since they are just friends for now. Bro, just hand that gift to her already. Moreover, MC thinks that he has to start thinking before acting from now on. Yamada then asks him to give a command to the dog that she trained. Turns out the dog isn't reacting to Ichikawa's command. Instead, Yamada is doing all those acts. He's commanding the dog, not sure what hints she is trying to give him by acting like a dog. And lastly, when Ichikawa asks the dog to paw his hand, Yamada immediately holds his hand as she sits right next to him. At first, both of them sit silently on the benches while holding hands, but then Ichikawa hands the scarf to her. However, Yamada reveals that she intended to give Ichikawa that scarf permanently, but she thought he didn't want it, therefore he returned it. At this point, Ichikawa feels embarrassed, but he somehow gathers his guts and finally hands the gift to Yamada. It excites Yamada so much that she starts to run in circles. On their way back, Yamada asks Ichikawa if he plans to visit the temple for New Year. Yup, she asked him out. So Yamada runs off to her home and tells him that she'll text him the place and time to meet. As days passed by, both Yamada and Ichikawa became addicted to each other, as they started talking every day by text messages. Anyways, on New Year's Eve, Ichikawa heads towards the grocery store to get his drinks. That's where he meets Nanju, who recognizes him as the bike kid. However, Sakine doesn't seem to remember Ichikawa's existence, as she denies recognizing him in front of Nanju. Moreover, he takes MC to the diner. That's where the first scenario of this episode links up. So Nanju begins to ask about Yamada. He even asks Ichikawa if he has Yamada's line. At this point, Ichikawa gets pissed off because he realizes that Nanju is just trying to use him to get Yamada. Nanju further reveals that Sakine isn't revealing anything regarding Yamada. She's keeping the cis code. Therefore, he wants Ichikawa to help him out, since he's also Yamada's classmate. Though again, Sakine starts to pretend like she doesn't know him. Well, it's fair play, because it would just get worse if she admitted to knowing him. However, Mamiya doesn't seem to be keeping up with the act, as she mentions that Ichikawa is the kid who's close to Yamada. However, Sakine shuts her up halfway by kicking her, and luckily, Nanju doesn't get the hint. But that's where MC drags his phone out to check Yamada's message, which even Nanju sees. So Nanju acts like his heart has been broken because Ichikawa straight up lied to him before. Furthermore, he asks Mamiya to go and get him a coffee. So Sakine also joins her, so Ichikawa and Nanju are left alone. At this point, Ichikawa seems to be ready to fight with him, though Nanju sits right in front of him. He then reveals that he won't tell anyone that he got Yamada's number from him. At first, Ichikawa starts to hesitate, but he finally gets the guts to say no to Nanju. Thank God, I thought he would give her number up. Furthermore, Ichikawa tells him that he has no reason to not give him the number. It's just he doesn't want to. That's when Sakine returns and asks Ichikawa to walk her home. However, she rejects Nanju when he says that he'll drop her at home. She even admits that Ichikawa is her friend in front of him. On their way home, Sakine holds MC's hand, but he manages to get back. At this point, it confirms to her that MC indeed likes Yamada. Anyways, he calls Yamada right after dropping Sakine home. Turns out he was craving to hear her voice, therefore he simply wished her a happy new year. Furthermore, Ichikawa decides that soon he will confess his love to Yamada. It's the day of the new year. Ichikawa and his family go to visit a temple, and it turns out Ichikawa double booked it with Yamada. Poor kid has to balance his family and love life together, so Ichikawa plans to walk slowly so he could get behind. Then he would bunk his family to meet Yamada. However, his plan fails brutally when Ichikawa's mom spots Yamada waiting for him at the temple. Even Kana is shocked since it's her first time seeing Yamada face to face. Moreover, she gets impressed by her height as she calls her huge. So Kana asks Ichikawa if Yamada has a boyfriend, though Ichikawa acts like he doesn't know. And that's where Detective Kana uses her big brain. She notices that Yamada is well dressed and she keeps looking in the mirror. Moreover, she's practicing how to smile. So it concludes that Yamada is probably waiting for someone she likes. Now that's some Sherlock level stuff. So Asahi gets embarrassed, therefore Kana covers up by saying that she's just guessing stuff. However, Asahi refuses when Kana asks him to go and say hi to Yamada, because he believes that Kana would simply stalk them and later would tease him. He's technically right. Instead, Yamada walks towards Ichikawa as she notices him. Ichikawa's mother even introduces Yamada to his father, hence they all decide to visit the temple together. Though Ichikawa never imagined that things could even go this way. Moreover, he hopes to not do anything weird. At this point, even Yamada feels awkward. She taunts him about double booking this day. In the praying area, Ichikawa can't hold his hand to pray since his one hand is broken. Therefore, Yamada holds his hands and prays for their wishes to come true. However, Ichikawa starts to tremble, but luckily his parents and Kana seem to be waiting for them on the ground floor. Therefore, it relieves him of the fact that no one saw them. On their way, Yamada asks Ichikawa about his wish, so he reveals that he wished for things to remain the same way as they are, though it pisses Yamada off because she indeed wants some things to change. Finally, these lovebirds are taking things to the next level. However, Yamada cuts off from the Ichikawa family and walks her separate way. So Ichikawa's plan to bunk his family once again exists, and as expected, Kana starts to tease him. She thinks that both of them were acting so super mature, that Kana herself wasn't able to keep up with them. Well, even Ichikawa noticed that Yamada had some sort of grown-up look today, as she didn't do anything stupid today. As he is walking with his family, Ichikawa's mother mentions that she's starving, so they should stop somewhere to eat. That is where Ichikawa finds his opportunity and cuts them off. Though, surprisingly, Kana decides to join his brother, Ru, give them some privacy. Moreover, she grabs Ichikawa's hand and runs toward Yamada. Kana reveals that she wants to make a better first impression in front of her, and not just some boring teenager who was walking awkwardly with them before. After a few minutes, they finally manage to find Yamada. Looks like Yamada has bought multiple food items. She can barely speak since her mouth is full. That's where Kana offers Yamada to come over to their place. It shocks Ichikawa. However, Yamada agrees with her proposal. Hence, they start to walk toward Ichikawa's house. At this point, he is shocked because he never imagined that this day would turn out like this. Ichikawa even asks Kana why she invited Yamada over. At this point, she reveals that she finds Yamada quite charming, therefore she decides to invite her. Weirdly, Kana mentions that she wasn't expecting Yamada to be found while snacking this much. Moreover, she asked her if she was waiting for someone there. At this point, Kana even cracks the words that Yamada said when her mouth is full. She realized that Yamada was indeed waiting for Ichikawa, and that's why she bought extra food. Both Ichikawa and Yamada have some higher intelligence level siblings. As she finally solves the mystery, Kana shouts that Ichikawa really has a chance with Yamada, though Ichikawa shuts her up on time. Anyways, they finally reach home. So when Yamada takes off her coat, the keychain that Ichikawa gifted her. So at this point, Ichikawa is worried since he told Kana that he bought the Akita dog keychain to match her. And if she finds this out, it'll be a living hell for him. So when Kana enters the room, Ichikawa holds Yamada and hides the keychain that is attached to her stomach. Kana freaks out as she sees her little brother holding Yamada just as they enter home. Therefore, Kana grabs Ichikawa away from Yamada and starts to stare at Yamada. At this point, Ichikawa thinks that Kana finally found out. Instead, Kana seems to be staring at Yamada's body. She feels surprised that a junior-year-old girl has such melons. Anyways, Kana then serves New Year's soup, while Yamada is having her soup. Kana and Ichikawa can't control themselves but envy Yamada's beauty. Moreover, Kana feels impressed by Yamada's confidence. At this point, I'm not sure which sibling is more obsessed with Yamada. So Kana then asks Yamada for her first name, so she could call her by that name. Now that they are friends, she even asks Ichikawa to suggest the name that she would use to call Yamada. Both of the girls surround Ichikawa and ask him to reveal Yamada's first name. Ichikawa starts to hesitate. He even asks Kana to back off since she's super close to him. So Kana taunts him by saying that he doesn't seem to mind Yamada being close to him. Anyways, Kana then decides to show Yamada the yearbook. She even shows the childhood pictures of Ichikawa, who doesn't seem to change that much. I mean, he is still a kid. So as Yamada starts to check Ichikawa's past pictures while he hides his face in embarrassment. However, it shocks Yamada when she finds out that Ichikawa never went to school on an outdoor excursion. At this point, Kana finally decides to give them privacy. Therefore, she leaves the house. However, before leaving, Kana thanks Yamada for being friends with Ichikawa. It makes her happy that her brother finally made a friend. Moreover, Kana strikes a deal with Yamada. If she lets Kana call Yamada by her first name, then Yamada can call Kana her sister. Moments later, Yamada starts to wash the dishes, even though Ichikawa stopped her multiple times. So Ichikawa decided to hide those albums. However, Yamada seems to be following him everywhere he goes. She even snatches Ichikawa's album and begins to look at his photos. So both of them sit together on the bed, while Ichikawa tells her about his two old best friends, Kinoshita and Takano. However, both of them got enrolled in private schools. Therefore, they are no longer in touch with him. Moreover, Yamada notices some trophies in his room, so he reveals that he won these from essay contests, poster competitions, local science fairs, and stuff. Ichikawa claims those days as his glory days. He even won a national prize for writing the book, Bizarre Crime Files of Murders. So he explains to Yamada that the book reveals the mind of murderers. It surprises Yamada because she is also into such psychological things. Therefore, she lies on the bed and asks him to read her mind, though Ichikawa refuses it since she's not a murderer. However, Yamada notices a magazine under his bedsheet, so when she tries to take it out, Ichikawa jumps above her to stop her. Both of them start to turn red as they stare into each other's eyes. However, Yamada pushes him back slowly as she sits. Hence, she silently stands up and apologizes for going through his stuff. At this point, Ichikawa feels like he's done for good. However, Yamada starts to click photos of his childhood, while Ichikawa sits silently in embarrassment. And as she finishes clicking photos, Yamada starts to run downstairs. Hence, Ichikawa runs to stop her. Though Yamada seems to be smiling as she promises to show her yearbook the next time they meet at her house. And so, Yamada takes her leave. It takes a moment, but Ichikawa finally gets the hint that Yamada has invited him over to her house. Anyways, we then see a glimpse of Ichikawa's past, about the time when he realized that he got enrolled in another school than his friends. Moreover, everyone used to avoid him since he used to read weird books about murders. No wonder why he was always lonely. He is too young for such books. However, now Ichikawa doesn't care if it freaks anyone out. Now he has Yamada on his side. Hence, he packs his bag and heads outside to his mother's car. Even Kana joins the ride to drop her brother at school. Yamada seems to be waiting outside the school for Ichikawa, and as he arrives, she gets happy. Moreover, she greets Kana and Ichikawa's mother. Kana asks Yamada to take off Ichikawa since his hand has begun to heal recently. However, Yamada starts to stare at his bag. Turns out, she's looking for the matching keychain that he bought for her. So Ichikawa shows Yamada the matching strap as he takes it out of his bag. Did he just steal his sister's keychain? Anyways, Yamada hangs his keychain to his shirt button, since Ichikawa doesn't want to hang it on his bag. At this point, Ichikawa starts to get flashbacks about the moments that he spent with Yamada. He feels strange that about a year ago, he never wanted to come to school, and would always cut off from events. Therefore, he gives credit to Yamada for changing him. Though, Yamada uses the Ona reverse and tells him to thank himself, because if he wouldn't come to school, then both of them would never be friends in the first place. It makes Ichikawa quite emotional. Therefore, Yamada hugs him, and this time, Ichikawa also holds her and thanks her. Then we see Yamada sharing sweets with him as both of them walk towards their class. The new day starts with a messy bed and a thrown-away bunny. A school uniform is set on the bed where Yamada-san is getting freshened up to join everyone in school. Later, when seeing Ichikawa walk inside, Yamada says good morning to him and walks away in a hurry. Later the same day, as the sun is setting, Ichikawa is about to walk outside the school. Yamada crosses his path in a hurry and says bye, leaving Ichikawa confused. Riding his bicycle in frustration, he decides to talk about something. In the continuing struggle to find the strength to say some words, Ichikawa is having a hard time expressing his thoughts to Yamada-san. Today's the day. With a determined look, he proceeds to make up his mind to face Yamada-san and say it all. While rehearsing for that moment, suddenly someone elbows him from behind saying good morning. To his luck, it is Yamada-san greeting him, but she is about to walk away in a hurry again. At this point, Ichikawa calls out her attention and she faces him, asking what it is. To which he replies there is nothing when turning to face the other side. Man had one job. Saying good morning to her should not require a negotiation team. Yamada is curious about what Ichikawa has to tell her, so she gets close to him. Repeatedly asking what it is, Yamada gets close to his ear and whispers that if it is something he cannot talk about here. Ichikawa then hesitates to answer. Closing his eyes shut, she takes his hand and runs to some other classroom alone. Panting heavily, she asks him to spill the beans now. Looks like Ichikawa's communication skills are on par with a mime. Regretting his choices, he tries to wish her good morning. Watching him being this worked up to say good morning to her, she chuckles and wishes him back. Further ahead, Yamada-san keeps finding ways to wish him good morning out of fun, as the guy wasn't already irritated the past few days. Thinking about what he has done to get this treatment, Ichikawa walks away with Yamada behind. Later, standing beside a bookshelf, Ichikawa is lost in his thoughts while holding the book on his own this time. Bored Yamada is sitting on the desk, and then shouts to tell him that it is time for a pop quiz. She asks Ichikawa if he knows what her blood type is. Ichikawa is confused as to why she is suddenly asking this. Let's see how much Ichikawa knows about Yamada-san. Seeing a confused look on his face, Yamada teases him that he cannot guess his close friend's blood type. She doubts he knows it anyway. However, he looks at her sitting on a desk, thinking she does seem like a stereotypical type O, but then he isn't sure that might not be it as she is acting all confident and sure. Staring at her to make sure, he thinks she might be the fully opposite type A, although he thinks she could be type B. Even though he knew that his sister's type B attitude would not let her ask about blood groups, that might not be it either. Therefore, he thinks type B does make sense due to them being looked down upon unfairly. Ichikawa then proceeds to imagine her sister talking about blood groups, as if she believes to screw people who judge others based on blood type. Shutting his book, he tries to think of some other ways to guess Yamada's blood type. He sure knows how to turn a pop quiz into a freaking telenovela. This has more drama than Shakespeare's play. Then he thinks that he might be able to get her to talk more about it to reach the final answer. Therefore, he mentions to Yamada that he is an AB type, to which Yamada is stunned to hear, saying it says type AB ones are geniuses. Hitting the jackpot, Ichikawa gets successful in making her tell more about blood types. No one, he thinks, would call themselves genius, so the type AB is off the list. After further calculation, he comes to the conclusion and tells her that it is type A for sure. Crossing her fingers, Yamada suddenly outsmarts the guy by telling him he is wrong and that it is AB, the genius type. Accepting his defeat, he then thinks that he forgot that it is Yamada he is talking about. Normal calculations do not apply to her at all. Watching him, she then tells him with excitement that they are the same type. But Ichikawa tells her the truth that he is not type AB because he used that trick to get her to talk more, but it backfired. Then she asks him what his type is. Hesitant to answer this, he asks her to drop this conversation and jump to some other topic now. Furthermore, he explains that blood type does not matter and that there are way more than 4 personalities in the world. Plus, no one even thinks about things like blood type outside Japan. Hearing him shut this topic out, Yamada jumps to her conclusion and she says that he is type B, definitely. Standing in the mirror, Ichikawa is looking at his clothes. Ichikawa looks as if he is wearing the gym wear of some obese lord. Thinking that this time he was the one to talk her out into buying bigger gym clothes, then he reminisces back to the choice he made, where he asks his mother to buy him bigger clothes because he will become tall this year. His mother agrees that it is that time of his age. Though it seemed like it was not a good idea, he thanked his mother anyway. Ichikawa further tries to pose in the mirror, saying that he looks like he possesses some evil powers. Afterward, a girl tells her group that she made a 3-pointer today and everyone praises her. Not gonna lie, I actually believe Ichikawa would unleash some ancient demon. My man's got that mysterious vibe down. Talk about luck. After making a 3-pointer, she said she did not do much later and could not touch the ball further. Hence, everyone calls it a Kobayashi miracle. When they pass by the mirror, Yamada spots Ichikawa making a gloomy face while walking with the girls. All of them are still praising each other for doing great in their last period. Then one mentions that it would not have been a miracle if she could do this every time. And the other agrees with her when Yamada gives one last look to a dying man inside, Ichikawa. All of a sudden, she excuses everyone by saying that she has forgotten something. However, she walks to Ichikawa and gets close to him. He slides away from her, but Yamada again takes a step towards him. She then jerks him and asks him to snap out of it, noticing how big his clothes are. To which he asks what she is trying to do here. Telling him that she mistook him for wearing someone else's clothes, he then shouts that it looks like she is mugging him. So then she stops touching him and asks him to give his hands. Yamada then proceeds to take her hand inside through a sleeve hole and hold his fingers. She then pins Ichikawa to the wall and whispers, eye to eye, that this is an off-record exchange. Confused, Ichikawa asks her what she is talking about. Furthermore, he tries to watch out for both of them, while he tells her that if they get caught, he will be in trouble. Ichikawa, the unintentional drama queen. Who needs a script when you've got a variety of confused expressions and a tiny body? Even though Yamada assures him that he should quit worrying, nothing can happen. Spooking the heck out of Ichikawa when she puts something in his hands, she then tells him not to worry when it is empty-handed anyway. Yamada's son opens her mouth to show the candy in her mouth and to assure him that what he has is just a wrapper. After bullying a grown man in the corner who suddenly lost the will to live, she walks away, giggling like a 3-year-old. Afterward, both Yamada and a short brown-haired girl are measuring their height. Seeing Yamada as tall and winning this game each time, the other girl gets frustrated and punches her. Bomb. Later on the subject of favorite hairstyles, Yamada mentions that the guys like ponytails more, apparently, according to Muko. When searching for his book, however, Ichikawa mentions that it should depend on the person. Along with this, Yamada asks him what hairstyle he would prefer while pointing at her hair. Imagining how Yamada looks in different hairstyles, he thinks that ponytails are more than fine, but there are pigtails as well as bob cuts, and not forgetting how hard it is to say no short hair. Coming to a grinding halt, he thinks that the more he imagines, the more he would like them all, so how will he be able to choose them? Can he survive this hairstyle drama, or can he just ask what she likes the best? Man's head takes a vacation when seeing Yamada. Yamada watches him behind, seeing how much thought he is putting into this. He then awkwardly mentions that anything would look great on her. Confused, Yamada looks at him for a second, and then tells him that she did not ask this. She then further thinks about how to ask this man about which style he specifically likes, so she can try it out sometime. Take the hint, man. Further, she mentions that she just wants to know what he likes in hairstyles. Yamada, on the other hand, felt shy while asking the question that Ichikawa was afraid of answering before. Why does everything with this guy just turn into a full-on soap opera? He sure knows how to turn everything into an awkward roller coaster ride. Gasping for air, he hits the shelf, regretting saying anything about hairstyles. Later in the class, Ichikawa is sitting at his desk, thinking it is time to go home when he hears the final bell ring. All of a sudden, Yamada peeks from the door at him. Further, she tells him that she forgot something in the class. Then she comes in and picks up the science book from underneath her desk. Seeing that, Ichikawa corrects her that she forgot literally everything. After getting her belongings, Yamada proceeds to follow him out and even into the corridor. Further ahead, he stands over to the men's bathroom, where Yamada almost follows her, but then both of them get embarrassed. She then holds his belongings and waits for him outside. Ichikawa, while washing his hands, thinks about what is going on with her. Suddenly, he hears that Yamada is talking to a friend and tells her that she is waiting for a friend in the bathroom. However, he gets scared as to why she has to mention the waiting for a friend part. Moreover, the girls ask Yamada if she is going to the science lab next, and mentions that they are going to the same class and asks her to go with her. Hearing this causes panic in his body. Man already trembles in the presence of one girl, let alone adding two others would send him to hospital. Peeking through the bathroom door, Ichikawa finds their suggestion of going together compared to walking into hell. Two of those with him and Yamada already feel like a horrible idea. Although hearing the girl's suggestion, Yamada hesitantly makes an excuse to go to the office first. She apologizes to them, and they tell her to be more careful to avoid trouble. Weird guy, one moment he found himself in hell walking with these two, another he is sad that she doesn't want anyone to know he is coming with them. Falling in despair, he thinks that she does not want people to know she is headed with him to the science class. Yamada then spooks him and asks him to let go. Afterwards, in the library when Ichikawa is submerged in his book, Yamada asks him if she ever becomes a zombie, he would kill her. Then he replies that yes, he definitely would, which shocks Yamada. Even then, he confirms that he has to sever Yamada's head to kill her when she is a zombie. Downhearted by the response, she then asks him if she is conscious or can feel emotions. The classic dilemma. He then tells her that if anyone does not pass through this meet death soon. Yamada then questions if he could do it that fast. Immigrating a zombie, she then proceeds to slowly attack Ichikawa. However, he asks her casually to cut it out and proceeds to walk away. But Yamada mentions he cannot step foot outside in a zombie face. At this point, he judges this zombie for being a talker. Moreover, he then tries to walk into this scenario by asking her if he has a gun. Yamada nods yes, and he takes a sigh of relief, getting into a ranger's position. He tries to point the gun at her, but she keeps walking to him and pins him down on the shelf. Yamada is getting closer to his neck for the bite, and suddenly he shoots her. Bang. Acting like she is really hurt, she proceeds to lose balance and falls. Looks like it is not just Ichikawa that is dramatic. Yamada sure as hell knows how to turn the tide of this room. One zombie encounter. Extra drama, please. It gets a bit dramatic when colors of horror overcome the room when he sees Yamada dead. However, coming back to reality, Yamada sits up saying it took you long enough to pull the trigger. All of an instant, Ichikawa falls to the ground and worries Yamada. Then he thinks that if Yamada dies like this, I will go with her. Sometime later, Ichikawa is taking a hot bath in the tub. He is replying to Yamada that he is doing nothing, to which she asks him what he thinks she is doing now. After imagining every possible thing she could be doing, he replies with "Dunno." On the hunt to find a dress, Ichikawa is out shopping with his sister. He is standing in the corner, holding a red dress, imagining Yamada in it. Hence, he bets she would look beautiful in this one. Sneaking from behind, her sister snatches that dress, and Ichikawa gives her a death stare. Along with this, they go to a restaurant to eat, and she asks if he is ready to order. But Ichikawa is in his own land of Yamada, where he is thinking about what could Yamada order right now. Hence, he imagines his sister as Yamada, asking for a steak lover's combo with her usual jumbo fries. Not just that, she also asks for pancakes with strawberry sauce in his imagination. Suddenly, he hears his sister ask if he wants the kids' menu, and he asks her to shut up. A couple nearby are romanticizing the environment, and Ichikawa watches them from afar. Both are feeding each other one at a time and cuddling. Seeing this, Ichikawa then thinks if Yamada has a boyfriend now, would she act like this as well? He then proceeds to imagine her feeding a guy. Look at him imagining Yamada's food choices. This man sure knows how to daydream in the midst of a crowd. All of a sudden, his sister puts a bite in his mouth, saying, "Ah." It looks like everyone's sister has the same community that initiates daily plans to annoy the heck out of their brothers. Very neatly, his sister tampers his daydream and welcomes him back to Earth. Giving him a side look, she tells him that the way he is staring at them, so she figures he is asking for it. He then whimpers that he wants to kill her for this. Later, Ichikawa cycles to meet Yamada to get meat buns. Then both ask each other which one they are getting and pick the pizza one together. But Yamada changes her mind and mentions she wants a regular one. A turn of events. Pizza buns on the menu, but the last-minute change of flavor has left Ichikawa questioning. Eating out of the store, he wonders why she does not want the same as him. Then, Yamada asks him what is wrong with him, to which he tells her that he has never done this. Further, he mentions that he just kind of followed her, and he has never eaten a snack on the way home from school. Yamada gets really happy to hear that. Ichikawa then wishes no one from school would see them here. Seeing him looking here and there, trying to watch out for both of them, he then tells her to be cautious. Yamada watches him, but clueless, he thinks that the staff might tell the schoolers about them. Looks like he is gonna be a future conspiracy theorist. I spot a promising future up ahead in a dark delusional world. Seeing the opportunity, she jumps in and bites his pizza-flavored meat bun. Taking a cheesy bite and spooking the heck out at him, she assures him that nobody is gonna come here. He then looks at the inside of his pizza bun, from where the cheese is melting off as the smoke gives away. How can these look so yummy on these screens? Wish someone could just snatch it away from his hands, or it is better if Yamada shoves it in my mouth. He turned to the side where she bit, and suddenly, Yamada puts his bun into his mouth and she further pushes it in until he takes a bite and chews it in. She then asks if it is good, and he nods yes. This girl sure has the rees, or how else she got our man on knees vibrating and everything. Smiling with a smirk, she then tells him that that's why she picked a different flavor. However, this shakes Ichikawa when he hears it. Afterward, Ichikawa finds that the soup bottle is empty and proceeds to use the girl's shampoo. Later, with Adachi looking over everywhere, he shouts that the room smells like a girl when there is no girl around a mile away. Ichikawa shoved his head in his desk, trying to hide from everyone's eye, thinking this was the last time he used his sister's shampoo. Walking home with Yamada, he then thinks that the smell is almost gone. Suddenly, she smells something nice, scaring Ichikawa, and gets closer to him. However, he does not want her to get the wrong idea and he thinks to try explaining his situation. But she points out to the neighborhood that they are having curry tonight when he is trying to tell her the truth. So he tries again to mention his sister's shampoo bottle saga, but Yamada refuses to pay attention. She then tries to smell it from his head, which seems to chill down his spine. Having a tall girl smell your tiny head would send many things down anyone's spine. Sweeping off the floor and cleaning the smudges, singing Adaki is annoying the hell out of everyone. Furthermore, Ichikawa says that he hates this period and wants to go home. Moreover, he says that it is a drag and that the school community should hire someone to clean this for us. Yamada asks him to skip it and plans to eat out, but both of them hear people chattering about harassment on the other side. Along with this, he mentions that if they don't do this, it will stay dirty. Transforming himself into a crazy freak, he cleans everything and finishes his chores. Cleaning time's over. Yamada then follows him and takes him away in a hurry, saying it is not skipping if they are done so fast. Sheesh. Running ahead, she asks them where they should go next. So he tells her to get somewhere out of sight. Hearing this halts Yamada, and she asks why, to which he replies that we are in their way. Disappointed to hear that, she gives in and accepts that it's true. Afterwards at night, Yamada texts him to ask when he dozes off, and he replies that around 1. So she reminds him that it is too late for the middle school guy, and it might affect his health and studies. He then asks her about the timing and finds out she sleeps at 11:30. To which he tells her that it is not even actually close to the real timing, and she says that it is his fault. Sometime later in the library, Yamada asks Ichikawa if he thinks that she could kill him if he ever becomes a zombie. Turning away, he asks cluelessly, why not? He has a bad feeling about how this is going to turn out. She then asks him to try this with her, and this is what Ichikawa was afraid of. So, imitating a zombie, he then tries to attack her and gets closer but gets embarrassed. Yamada then tells him to go on and do it. Well, when he thinks about it, it seems pretty normal for him. She apologizes and mentions how she can tell if he is a zombie or not. Furthermore, she thinks that it might be the smell or heartbeat, to which replies that getting close would be risky. Hence she says it is set, and then she will figure it out if he can say his name or not. Ichikawa refuses the idea because he thinks that he will remember things as a zombie. Well, she stands and holds his head, telling him that she cannot kill him then. Running into the hall, Yamada waves and says bye-bye to Ichikawa without realizing it is him. Both turn to each other with a stunned look. She then walks to him awkwardly, and he thinks that saying bye-bye to her is a bit weird for him. Sweat washes over his face and body. Trying to think of every possible way to go through this situation, the man prays. His mouth mutters, "See ya." However, hearing him say that, contentment washes over Yamada, and she tells him that she will see him tomorrow as well. Well, Ichikawa thinks to himself that tomorrow's Saturday. Afterward, Yamada is snacking beside the bookshelf like a 5-year-old in the library. Noticing this, Ichikawa remembers that Christmas is on the way. Further, she spots him from afar and gives him an empty red sock. Man thinks he will get candy, but a sock seems to be enough too. He sure needs some color in his life. Red is a good start. Thinking that this is not essentially garbage, he picks it up. She thinks that she can wear the sock, but he bets that it has no stretch. Moreover, he is trying to put the sock on Yamada, but realizes what the heck they are even doing. However, she tells him it cannot fit, but he assures her that it is almost in. Don't give up. Then he thinks that they will never know until they try hard enough. In a world full of isekai anime, we get to see this one, yup, a story that we might only get to live if we get isekai'd. And that isn't guaranteed, like since when did model girls start going for short boys with introverted traits? Haha, no gym is going to help you with that, kiddos. The story begins when a short emo boy sits in his classroom. He is ready to start his 3rd semester. Gyotaro Ichikawa, a 2nd-year middle school student with a fractured arm, watches a black-haired girl, Anna Yamada, who is holding hands with her friends. A few seconds later, a short-haired girl bows down on Ichikawa's desk. She tells him that she is shocked to see that he really fractured his arm. Then she mentions that Yamada told her, to which Yamada nudges Chi while blushing. She asks Ichikawa if he fell from the snowy mountain in Akita. Hearing this, some of the girls circle around Ichikawa's desk for the answer. Looks like this guy just traded mountains with a couple of butterflies and one grumpy gorilla on the sidelines. Thinking that he is surrounded by many, he hears Chi's wish to write on his cast. Meanwhile, a loud thud comes from the other side, and a man is agitated to see that swarm beside Ichikawa. He then shouts at him to not be cocky, just because he has a broken arm. Stunned to hear this, he then glares at him, saying, "Don't make his misery sound like a good thing." To which the other guy thinks that misery truly loves company, pretty or otherwise. A puppy keychain hangs on his shirt button and is touched by Che, who asks what it is. The boy beside Ichikawa regrets not having a broken arm instead of Ichikawa. Chi shocks him when she judges the keychain and declares that it is gross. After the girls go away, he holds the keychain and thinks of putting it in a safe place. All of a sudden, Yamada bows down and scares Ichikawa. She then asks him to let her know if he has trouble with anything. Someone calls Yamada from outside and tells her that they have souvenirs for her from Osaka. The girl behind Ichikawa watches Yamada bid farewell to Ichikawa. Then her eyes fall on a blue bag with the same puppy keychain. Outside of classes 2 to 3, an instructor tells Ichikawa that it must be inconvenient to have a fractured arm, especially when it is the dominant side, but he says he is used to it by now. With the intent to help, the instructor asks Ichikawa if it will be easy if he asks for help. Acting shy and looking down, he believes inside that this is something that he is worst at. Then he is asked by the instructor, whom he is close to in the class. Sweat washes over his face when he hears the question. The instructor cracks the code and mentions Yamada, which surprises him. He asks Ichikawa if he is close to Yamada, although the instructor notices that they both sit closer to each other. Trying to decide how to handle this situation, he thinks that Yamada has a lot of friends and is also busy. Hence, he tells the instructor that he talks to her occasionally and they are not very close. He then asks him not to worry about his arm. On one hand, he can manage classes and breaks, and he proceeds to enter the class. Suddenly, his skin gets paler than his cast when he sees Yamada within earshot of the door. She eyes him for a few seconds and coldly walks away. Her icy stare was enough to send shivers down his spine. Talk about the plot twist. Yamada's entrance was smoother than melted cheese, leaving Ichikawa sweating like a banana in a sauna. Regretting his action and hiding his face in dismay, he asks himself what he has done to deserve this. To have Yamada beside the door at the same time when the instructor mentions Yamada being close to her. What are the odds? To make it worse, he has told him that he is not close with Yamada. This is bad. Bad? He remembers that both he and Yamada finally become a little bit closer over the winter, and this happens. Further, he shouts at himself that he has ruined it all with his own hands. The clock strikes 11:30, and Ichikawa is finding it hard to write with his left hand. As soon as he catches the board, someone just erases half of what was written on it. Taking a sigh, he thinks that he has no choice but to ask someone else for notes. He tries to look on the other side but gets spooked to see Yamada standing beside him. Yamada stares at him for a few seconds and goes away, leaving him confused. Then he remembers that he can ask Hara, but for some reason he stops himself in the middle. The grumpy gorilla, Adaki beside him, hands over his notes to Ichikawa with a happy face. He is overjoyed to see that someone relies on him. But it's not Ichikawa he is talking about. He is referring to Yamada relying on him. This shocks Ichikawa, and he asks him how Yamada is relying on him. To which Adaki replies that Yamada has asked him before to make a copy of notes for Ichikawa. She says her handwriting is pretty awful, so she asks me to do the deed and give it to you. Imitating Yamada's son, he tells him that she said she could only ask someone as kind and cool as Adafta-kun for this. As if the Grim Reaper possessed Ichikawa's son, he tells Adaki that she would never say such a thing. Scared, Adaki proceeds to take his words back as fast as he utters them. Later, when the sun is about to set and school is over, everyone is finding their shoes and belongings to go home. Yamada-san puts her shoes down and spots Ichikawa coming closer to her. She then looks down in disappointment and walks away. Sweat washes over his face. Looks like the cast is the only thing holding this man together. One wrong step and goodbye to the little guy. He calls out to her and apologizes. Without turning to see his face, she asks him what he is apologizing for. To which he replies for what he mentioned to the instructor before. Then she further asks him what is wrong with saying what you said to the teacher. Looking at him while giving an eye that he has let her down, she asks him to repeat it again. He tries to recall what he said, and then the truth finally comes out. Hence, he felt bad naming you in front of the instructor to get help. Aware of her popularity, he says that he knows you are busy with friends, and he does not want her to be stuck with him. Grabbing the courage to confess his true feelings, he takes it a step further. With a shy face, he then mentions that she actually is the only one he wants to rely on the most. Yamada walks over to him up close from the side, where his head rests on her chest, and bows head to head, telling that she knows this. Grateful for being short, Ichikawa screams inside, hearing her this close. Wait, what? Moments later, both are seen outside, walking home. Yamada then asks why he is not going home by car. He then mentions that his mom has a part-time job now, so he is walking home, so she mentions that can care for his bag then, to which he first refuses, but remembering he has told her that he relies on her, he gives in and hands over the bag. Furthermore, he requests her not to talk with Adaki so much. Picking up jealousy, Yamada teasingly asks him why not. Afterward, due to his fractured arm, Yamada starts helping him out from his chores to carrying his backpack. When they finish their lunch, Yamada walks over to him. Smiling as if she is happy to help, she tells Ichikawa that she can take his tray back. Surprised to see her this soon, he further asks for time to let him finish the soup at least. But Yamada mixes his spoon with her, which puts Ichikawa in a dilemma. He then picks any and eats while blushing. Yamada apologizes hesitantly when seeing this. Adaki, standing in the corner, asks what has gotten in with Ichikawa. Later, Ichikawa is reading in the library, and he says that 3 weeks have passed with his cast. Moreover, he realizes that he has gotten used to his lack of freedom. When he sees that Yamada is eagerly helping him while standing beside him holding his book, he asks her to flip the page. Being so close to Yamada has turned Ichikawa's cheek red. Afterward, he is sitting down beside a tree and watching kids play sports. And panting heavily, Yamada comes from the sidelines and throws a shirt at him. Catch. She forgets that his arm is broken when she sees the shirt touch the ground, which confuses Ichikawa. Looks like he forgot his arm is on vacation. He is filled with disappointment. He is convinced that he is not used to Yamada's way of helping. Beside him, the commotion is erupting. What is it? 18 plus mags. The other guy corrects him that it is the Idol magazine. Struck by the mention of Yamada's name, he is shocked to hear that she is in the Idol magazine with the stage name Akino. Then, Adaki doubts that Yamada is a model. Hearing these outrageous misconceptions, Ichikawa then clears out this mess. He then mentions with confidence that she is not just a mere model, she also does plenty of movies and shows. Seeing that she is in this Idol magazine, he says perhaps her agency asked her to do this. Everyone is stunned to see how much Ichikawa knows about Yamada, which makes it awkward for him. If Yamada is in the Idol magazine, then it means that she may be trying to become one. Adaki jumps up to say swimsuits. All of a sudden, he gets caught off guard and saves himself when he sees the girls walk past him. Not gonna lie, when Adaki blurted swimsuits so loud, Ichikawa almost faced the Yamada-induced apocalypse. Yamada picks up something fishy going on. Later the same day, Ichikawa and Yamada are walking home. Yamada watches him and asks him what he is talking about with Adaki today. Turning his face to hide his grimness, he knew she might ask this later. He then tries to slide this off by saying nothing much. She gets the hint that it must be the boys' conversation. He apologizes to her in his heart. Further, he wonders if he can talk about her work without embarrassing himself. For him, it does not look like a male-oriented gravure. Suddenly, Yamada remembers to ask him if they can stop by a convenience store. A bell rings at the convenience store. Yamada is excited to see Hanoka Saito from Lemonzaka 46. So cute. She then proceeds to open up and gets amazed to see her own photographs on the page. She screams and shows it to Ichikawa, to which he replies that he thinks it's horoscopes. Moreover, she mentions that it has taken her more time than usual to get these clicked. They tell her to act natural, and that makes her so nervous. But Ichikawa thinks that she does not look nervous at all in her pictures. Seeing how he is noticing makes Yamada's cheek blush. Then she mentions that the staff was so funny that they sucked the nervousness out of her. But soon realizing she is talking about work too much, she apologizes, instantly saying that it does not matter. When she is about to put her book back, he holds it with her. Then he mentions that she looks like her usual self, so they have come out really great. To clarify this further for her, he turns his head away and tells her that her usual self is already the best version of her. Realizing that complimenting people is hard, he is afraid to say more words, but he finishes with Yamada, whom he is used to seeing as the best. I see. With content, she understands his words and further repeats it for herself. The Yamada he is seeing is the best of her. When he asks her as to why she is repeating, she hesitantly picks a book and says to buy it for him. The barcode is scanned, and she purchases the book for him. They walk out together from the convenience store. Further, Ichikawa thinks that he has switched the topic to anecdotes about my broken arm, but he will try asking her little by little. He wants to know about her world that he knows nothing about. Watching herself in the magazine, Yamada asks him which one he likes the most, to which he replies none in particular, so Yamada reads this as he likes all of them. Meanwhile, he is thinking to himself that she is completely different from how she is portrayed in the fashion magazine. Yamada stops suddenly in the middle of the street. Seeing her halt like this, he stops to see her. Yamada then asks if he has seen these before. He gets surprised to see her ask this, but he bluntly refuses. He then mentions that his sister bought it by coincidence. Embarrassed that she has accused him, she tells him it was a guess. Furthermore, she explains how different it is with makeup, poses, and the environment of the shoot as the sun sets in front of them. Also, he asks her if he likes her job in the middle of when she is talking about her work. Caught by a sudden question, she nods yes with a happy face. Then he turns his face to the other side without seeing Yamada's smile with his own eyes, to which he blames the sun for being too bright at this time of the day. Later in the home economics class, Yamada breaks the egg clumsily. She asks her to be gentle with the eggs. She asks her to try one more but gently. Yamada then taps the egg on the shelf, and thinking it has cracked, she then crushes it again with her fingers. Hara, standing beside Ichikawa, asks him where he has gone in the winter break. To this he replies that he has gone to his hometown in Akita, and that's where he has gotten injured. Yamada comes with a stool, telling them that they tell her to go. Then Hara asks the same question to Yamada. Where did she go during winter break? She then replies that she did not go on a trip, but she mentions going to Aoyama with Miku. Then she tells her she spent Christmas Eve with Ichikawa and welcomed the New Year at Naa's house. Furthermore, she mentioned she did her first shrine visit. Yamada's winter break saga looks like a Netflix movie plot. Aoyama with Miku, Christmas with Ichikawa, and New Year at Naya's house, as well as her first shrine visit, just like a queen of multitasking. Ichikawa's face screams confusion, whereas Hara is just trying to keep up. Excited to share, Yamada asks Hara about her winter break. She then replies that she did her first shrine visit with Kanzaki. Striking her first blow, Yamada asks her why she mentions Kanzaki when she asks about her winter break. I got tricked. Ichikawa believes it has been a while since he has felt such a warm and fluffy feeling. Excited to chatter more, she asks Hara to spill her beans further. Hara then remembers the time of winter break when she met Kanzaki. She hears Kanzaki coming close to her and apologizes for being late. He mentions that the hair club is on break, so he is trying to grow into it. Hara notices the sideburns and gets embarrassed and confused. She then mentions to Yamada what she should have done in that situation. She further tells her that she does not want to judge his appearance or anything, but she does not want to lie either. Yamada then thinks out loud, saying, if someone you like does something that is not suitable for them, what should be done then? Looking at Ichikawa, she blushes, turns her face, and justifies that it is not like she has someone she likes. Becoming a tomato face, she denies knowing what someone can do in these situations. Hara then says that you are repeating yourself. The home economics teacher grabs their attention. She asks them to push their bangs inside their bandana. Remembering that Ichikawa has a broken arm, Yamada asks him to let her help. Both of them sit on the chair, and when she is fixing his hair, he then asks her to let some of them out. Putting his bangs all back, two of them fall awkwardly out to see how weird he looks. Unable to hold his laughter, Yamada chuckles when he fixes his bangs again. Reading this situation from the side, Hara has picked up something fishy going on between them. Adaki shouts that it is all done. Looking at all the burnt food on the plates, Chi blames Hara for not helping much with this. Hara then apologizes for her clumsiness, but Adaki adds that he bets it still tastes fine. Not gonna like, the burnt food on these plates might taste better than my cooking on a good day. With that said, Yamada holds the fork and tells them she is going in for the crew. As she is close to taking the bite, Adaki tells her that it is the one he made. Suddenly, Ichikawa snatches the bite off Yamada and gulps it down. With horror on his face, he is glad that he has bangs to cover his expression. The puppy keychain falls to the floor, and Hara picks it up and shows it to Ichikawa. Hara moves her hands between them and tells them that this keychain is pretty cute. Yamada then picks it up and tells everyone that Akita dogs are so cute. Moreover, a guy comes close to Hara to ask her if she has eaten already, to which she replies that she is on a diet and is thinking of losing some weight. The guy then reminds her that she is fine with the way she looks and then asks Ichikawa for his approval on the subject. Huh? Hearing this, Hara pouts and picks up a bite of what seems to be pudding. Facing her fears, she then tells Kanzaki that he should not grow his sideburns again too, while munching on this bite. Afterward, Ichikawa is reading the book in the library when Yamada helps him hold it. All of a sudden, he thinks about Hara and how earlier she realized what was happening when she saw the Akita dog keychain. Yamada, breaking his thoughts, asks him if something is wrong, to which he replies, everything is good. Again, processing his thoughts, he thinks, if Hara asks Yamada about it, what her answer would be. Then he thinks it is normal. Further, he doubts that things like that are normal between girls. However, he thinks Yamada gets along with everyone and gives gifts and lots of souvenirs too. Lost in his thoughts, he soon catches Yamada dozing off and drooling while holding a book for him. Suddenly, she walks up and apologizes up front. It's fine. Sitting at the desk together, Yamada apologizes for not being helpful lately. He realizes that she is apologizing too much these days. He then tries to think of words to reassure her but fails. He wishes that he could say something better than thank you. Here. He then shows his phone to Yamada with a photo of his sister in a red kimono. Moreover, he says that it was her coming-of-age ceremony the other day. She gets excited to see her and finds her cute. But she also tells him that the one who saved this photo is cute too when nudging his foot. He gets embarrassed and denies it quickly. Furthermore, he remembers that Yamada told him once to take a snow scenery photograph. Finding a blurred photo of the tree, Yamada asks what it is, to which he replies it is when he fell from the tree. Seeing her gloomy face, he realizes that he planned this before and that he is not supposed to mention that ever again. Yamada realizes on the spot that Ichikawa broke his arm when he was trying to take a photo of snowy scenery. Instantly, he denies that and tells her he was not careful enough, and that's why he fell. Trying to change the subject and clear Yamada's head, he mentions that the snow is predicted for next week. Hence, he could not say it out loud. He could not tell her that when he thinks of her, everything around him gets blurry. Yamada walks out behind him and suddenly mentions the snow forecast for next week. Hearing that, Ichikawa tells her that he said this earlier, but Yamada gets embarrassed for not paying attention earlier. Hence, the face Yamada made at that time was his first time experiencing it. Afterward, he comes to school and thinks of Yamada and how she has not contacted him since yesterday. Wondering what has bothered her about his injury, Chi asks Ichikawa to stop. The girls take him to some class to talk about Yamada acting strange. Chi further mentions that Yamada had only fries yesterday, which is not like her. To which he asks, one single fry. Chi corrects him by saying, 1 bag of fries. Also, she explains that she gets 2 bags with room to spare. Doubting that he has something to do with it, she asks him if he knows anything. To which he gets confused as to why he is being asked. All of a sudden, Yamada comes and asks what is wrong. Nothing. She sits behind Ichikawa, who notices that something is definitely wrong with her. Suddenly, she notices that her keychain is not here. Everyone asks her what is that, and she hugs the bag and says it is nothing to worry about. Ichikawa walks over to her to ask her if had it when she left the house, to which she says it might be at home. Eager to fix this for her, he wants to give her his keychain, but he knows that this would not fix this situation. The instructor tells them that the class ends here due to the news of heavy snowfall. They all are subjected to going home. Spotting Kanzaki and Hara, Kanzaki tells them that Hara lost the dog keychain. Hara then walks over to Ichikawa and tells her Yamada is pretty sad about losing the keychain. He thanks her and proceeds to go find it himself. Looking here and there, Chi asks him if he is finding something. He refuses and continues to do what he is doing. However, Chi mentions that Yamada's house is the other way. He thanks her for showing the way. Further ahead, he goes, his body freezes and his broken arms start to hurt, but it all seems meaningless. Then he reminds himself that he is doing this for his own satisfaction. Looking down trying to find the dog keychain, he sees someone's foot and finds Yamada standing close to him. Behind the scenes, Chi has made this all easy for Ichikawa. She texts Ichikawa's photo to Yamada, telling her that he is finding something out in the open. Sobbing when the snow falls, she mentions that the keychain is nowhere to be found. He then shouts that it is here, to get her to stop sobbing. I'm sure it is. With the intent of not giving up yet, he tells her it will not disappear, so don't worry about it. She starts crying, and when he is about to hold her, he spots the keychain on the tree branch. He picks it up for her, saying that someone must have put it here for them to find it later. Holding his hands, she thanks him while sobbing. She then holds him closer, but he sneezes. Seeing him freezing, she walks a bit ahead and points at her house and invites him over. Ichikawa is stunned to get an invite, but will he find the courage to accept it? Anna presses the bathroom button to prepare the bath. She is apparently repeating with the computer of the bathroom and said, now reading the bath. Kyutaru is frustrated and tells Anna to stop sinsing with it. The sink he wants to begin would be inside the shower for sure after all. He is a man. It was snowing outside and the weather was dark. Both Anna and Kyutaru were alone in the apartment. Kyutaru asked Anna about her parents. Anna told him that they were at work, but they might get back soon because of the heavy snow. Kyutaru thought that it might be bad. Anna asked him why he was thinking like that. She started rubbing a towel on his head to clean all the snow on his head and harm him. Kyutaru's face was red, and he was blushing because of the cold weather. Kyutaru's confusion grew as he struggled to make sense of the dark events that had brought him into this confusing situation. Amid all of this confusion, Anna decided to clean his messy locks while projecting a terrified attitude. She recoiled in surprise and urged Kyutaru to finish the job on her own. Kyutaru's reply was flat and indifferent, highlighting the fact that he hadn't asked her for help in the first place. The irony was that Anna had done his hair without asking permission, having done it out of an unbidden impulse. Meanwhile, the comfort of the bath covered the room, and a timely reminder came from the computer. Anna was so sweet as to invite Kyutaru to take a soothing bath and even offered to give him their shampoo. The odd changes in the situation were further complicated by Kyutaru's cruel response, which came with a hint of anger. In the bathroom, Kyutaru carefully undressed, his right hand covered in bandages, and his anxiety increased. Understanding that he didn't want to come across as visible, he forced himself to remain calm in spite of his own emotional state. But suddenly it clicked on him. The possibility of finding himself naked in Yamada's home was about to happen, and it made him anxious. I mean, if he is saying being anxious is excitement to be laid, then I understand it. Now filled with a sense of urgency, Kyutaro wondered why he had entered the bathroom with such indifference as he struggled with his racing thoughts. The air became even more tense as Anna's voice drifted in from outside, asking how warm the bath was. Startled, Kyutaro clarified that he hadn't even started the process, answering with a hint of fear. Eventually, he undressed and forced himself into the tub. Aware of his bandaged hand, he used caution by covering it with plastic to keep it out of the water, showing an equal amount of danger and flexibility in this unanticipated event. He was blushing and felt uncomfortable because the bathroom has Anna's smell in it. Her aroma was spread wide in the atmosphere and Kyutaro could feel her presence. He was shaking while in the bath. Shaking in what way, I am eager to know. He tried to choose the shampoo so that he could wash his hair, but he started looking around the bathroom. Kyutaro forced himself because he was looking around for Anna. He forcefully closed his eyes. Anna came inside the bathroom and spoke with Kyutaro. She told him that she left her clothes inside and came to collect them. Kyutaro was going outside because he could stay inside anymore, but when he heard her voice, he got embarrassed and covered his rod. Anna also collected his clothes because they were wet. She started when she collected his clothes. Kyutaro was ashamed because he even talked to her while covering his rod. He could see her shadow from the mirror and got shy. Anna smiled because she was in the same room as Kyutaro while he was naked. Kyutaro told himself that Anna was feeling responsible for his arm and for the whole keychain incident. He went outside of the bathtub when Anna left and checked for the clothes she left for him. Anna left a shirt of her name and pajamas. Kyutaro tried to convince himself that it was normal for people to share clothes in a situation like that. He tried to search for his underwear in the clothes and was shocked when he realized that Anna took them too. He thought that his underwear might be in her bag. He tried to wear the pajama and ran outside to get the underwear and get back inside quickly. When Kyutaro wore her clothes, he was embarrassed and thought that he should wash them before returning them. When he went outside the bathroom, Anna's dog ran toward him and started barking. Kyutaro was shocked because he completely forgot about him at that time. Anna heard the dog's bark and came to see him. She also changed her clothes too. She asked him if he wanted to eat chanka or chicken soup. Kyutaro got embarrassed because she was in loungewear and covered his pants. Anna asked him if he wanted to get them in a hot pot because she had the whole set ready just to dig in. He didn't realize that they were going to do lunch. His mind was going onto her shorts and forced himself not to think that way. He tried to make himself believe that he was in a sea of death and told himself that if he slipped over it would be the end for him. Kyutaro knew that he needed his underwear because he was in a really difficult situation. Anna's dog bit his pajamas and started dragging them. He couldn't hold it and was going to get naked. Kyutaro knew that it was going to end for him. Anna hugged him and told her dog to go away. His face was on her melons and he could control his feelings. Even though he put the pajama back on, he laid down because he could stand straight in front of her because she might see him inappropriately. Kyutaro went to the toilet and relaxed. He cooled down because everything was back to its original place. Anna wore a hoodie. Kyutaro asked her why she changed her clothes. She told him that it was a gift from Moko and she thought that it might be cute on her. Kyutaro was confused. Later he sat on the dining table and the soup was in front of him on the stove. Anna kept walking around randomly. Kyutaro asked her if she should sit too. She sat right next to him and apparently was waiting for him to invite her. While Anna was sitting right next to him, she told him that she always prepares hot pot before dinner whenever her mother was going to be late. Kyutaro was shocked when she told him she would prepare it before dinner. Anna smiled and asked him if it was really cool. Both were shy, and then she asked him if he could come to eat with her some other time. Kyutaro changed the topic and asked her if she brought something with her. Anna was excited. She showed him her yearbook. Kyutaro didn't think that he would peek at her yearbook so soon. Kyutaro's eyes stayed over her photos, studying every one of them, even the ones from her field trip. He was too watchful not to notice the slight difference in her height from junior high. He quickly recognized her in every picture, so when Anna casually brought it up, he experienced a sudden wave of shyness. Kyutaro's curiosity caused him to focus on the room's piano. He asked if she was a musician and if she knew how to play. Anna blushed and said that she had taken ballet and piano lessons for a year when she was younger. She opened up a little about herself, saying that she had tried her hand at swimming, kendo, and English, though she had given up on all of them pretty quickly. The disclosure provided insight into Anna's wide range of interests and the fleeting character of her adventures. Anna gave up on all her hobbies and hated when the new kids improved faster than her. She never got better at any of them, and that made her sad. She thought the other kid picked on fast and made her quit intentionally. Anna told Kyutaro that there was tradition in her family that her parents made her favorite food whenever she quit something. Her parents continued the tradition for her when she could get into private school and also when she hurt her nose. Her parents tried their best to keep cheering their daughter on. Kyutaro told her that they must be good parents. Anna was worried because she was surrounded by so many good people and realized that she was a burden on them. She was crying because she was afraid that she would make them only hate herself one day. Kyutaro tried to convince her and told her that he doesn't know about her parents, but he was sure that other people would tell her when she would be too much for them, they won't hold back, and they would be straight with her. Anna wanted to ask Kyutaro about something she was curious about. She asked him why he didn't come to the library for 2 days during the winter break. Kyutaro was nervous and started sweating as he remembered the time when he first touched her. Anna thought that he was irritated by her and tried to avoid her. She asked him if he would tell her if he had enough of her. Anna cried and told Kyutaro that he was really nice, and that made her scared because she thought that she might be a burden for him too. Anna apologized for her tears and calmed down. Kyutaro stood up and hugged her. He apologized to her and she started crying while holding him. He told her that he lied because he was afraid that it might get him harm, that's why he held himself back. Kyutaro said that he was just afraid of being hated. When both of them got separated, Anna's nose was wet and her saliva was attached all over Kyutaro's shirt. He cleaned her nose with his arm and then Anna poured soup for him. She told him that Napa cabbage was best when musty. Anna explained herself that she was always like that. Kyutaro asked if that's why she started worrying about things very easily. Anna's face got red. Kyutaro suggested that it might be because grown-up gets annoyed easily. She smiled and told him that it might be that way. Kyutaro told her that getting worried was a good thing. He told her that her parents might treat her after she quit because they didn't want her to stop trying new things. It might be because they wanted her to be happy and keep moving on. Anna was surprised because she never thought about it that way. Suddenly, Anna got many messages on her phone. She was surprised, and Kyutaro asked her about it. She told him that her mother was at the nearest store a while ago. Both started panicking. Anna tried to convince him that it was all right because she always had friends in her place, usually because she was also afraid. Kyutaro told her that it might not be normal for her to have a guy at home and also wasn't in proper clothes to meet her. Anna blushed and told him that he should come some other time to meet her mother. Anna hid Kyutaro inside the closet and went to the door. Her mother was at the door and she came inside. Anna's mother noticed another pair of shoes and asked Anna if she had a friend at her place. Anna lied to her and told her that she came to stay at their home. Kyutaro was listening to them from inside the closet. Anna's mother asked her if she prepared the bath for her. Kyutaro thought it would be good for him to go when her mother would be inside the bathroom. Kyutaro was inside Anna's room and was watching her bed. He told himself that it wasn't a good time to think about that because he just made her lie for him. Anna's mother was happy because she was dressed up. Anna told her that Mako gave her the dress and it was cold outside, that's why she thought about wearing it. Her mother smiled and told her that she also had something like that and she thought about wearing it too. Anna came inside and relaxed, but she remembered that her father was also going to come home soon. Kyutaro panicked because he was afraid that her father might catch him. She told him that his father was like him. Kyo imagined Anna's father like her and got confused. Anna's mother ran inside her room. Kyo covered himself in the blanket, but his hair was visible. She asked Anna if she was fine with the hot pot or if she was allergic. Anna tried to convince her mother and told her she already ate most of it. Kyo changed his voice and spoke from inside the blanket. He thanked her mother for having him and pretended to be Chi. Kyo said that he was fine. She got relieved and told Anna that the snow was coming down slowly so she should not stay up late. Her mother went outside and closed the door. Kyo came out of the blanket and apologized to Anna because he made her lie again. Anna saw her milk tea bottom on the window and got embarrassed. She laid on Kyo to hide it. She told him that it was a payback for him, and it was true that she never lied to her mother, but since she was a grown-up it was fine. Anna was laying on Kyo while both of them were in the same bed. Kyo covered his face and asked her about what kind of grown-up was referred to by its first name in the house. Anna's face turned red. She told him that it was a secret, so should not tell anyone else. Anna was embarrassed because she was still treated like a child at home. She wanted Kyo to keep it a secret society that no one would know about. Later, when Anna's mother was in the bathtub, Kyo sneaked outside of their apartment and Anna walked him to the door. Kyo was dull because it was a long day for him full of secrets. Anna was smiling and waved her hands toward him. While Kyo was inside the elevator, he saw a long man with a scary face with red stain on his shirt standing in front of him. He got afraid because he thought that it was a giant. Kyo ran away thinking that high-rise apartments were scary. The man saw Kyo wearing Yamada's shirt. Kyo went outside and decided never to come back. He received messages while he was walking outside, and it was from Anna. She apologized to him for all the problems and asked Kyo to come again another time. He agreed to her invitation instantly. Other day, Kyo was inside the bathroom of his own house. He was washing Anna's clothes because he had no other choice. He was struggling with the tap water and got frustrated because he couldn't risk getting caught with the clothes while using the washing machine. Kyo stopped because he was using a different soap than her. He thought that it would cause problems and wondered if he should wait and ask her first. The shirt was already wet, but he came outside of the bathtub and saw Kana changing her clothes. Kyo panicked and Kana got afraid. She covered herself and called him a pervert. Kyo imagined that Anna might get frustrated because of the different smell from the clothes. That's why he stopped washing it. Even washing it was a big trouble. He put Anna's clothes on his bed and was staring at it. Kyo was worried because it was a big headache for him to wash and get it back to her. He was facing a lot of problems because he couldn't wash them properly, and returning them in the school might have caught some attention, and he also didn't want to go back to her apartment because he was scared of it. Kyo put the clothes inside the bag again, and his subconscious tried to tell him that he got Yamada. Kyo wasn't sure about it because he got shy even when he tried to think about it. His subconscious tried to convince that he had a bath at her house, he hugged her, and was in the same bed as her, and that would only mean that Anna loved him too. Kyo was in denial. He told himself that Anna was just trying to introduce him to her parents if he didn't stop her. Kyo wasn't confident. He thought that he was nothing special and just a normal friend of Anna. Even after they hugged and he wore her clothes, he still doubted himself that she loved her. His subconscious was trying to convince him that he couldn't call it just friendship after what happened between them. Kyo didn't know what it meant to be a friend because he never made friends normally. Neither his subconscious knew about having friends, but Anna's feelings were still obvious to him. Riding his trusty bike to school felt liberating for Kyo, with the wind rustling his face and reinforcing the sense of freedom he felt after taking off his cast. A quiet unease began to creep into his mind as he made his way through the well-known streets. He checked his voice and sensed something was off. The reunion with friends Anna and Chihiro took an unexpected turn inside the busy school corridors. Unable to contain her excitement, Chihiro revealed that Kyo had lost his cast. Kyo's expression fell, bewildered by this new information, so Anna stepped in quickly. She skillfully diverted Chi's playful enthusiasm from Kyo, keeping the surprise intact. The scene became humorous as Chihiro made fun of Anna's habits of consuming rice balls. Still, the jest took an odd turn when Anna answered. Anna corrected herself, embarrassed by the mistake, and disclosed an interesting fact about her eating habits. Chihiro became entangled in a web of humor, momentarily confused by the unexpected correction. In the midst of the lighthearted conversation, the friends grew closer and rejoiced with Kyo. In a genuine moment, Chihiro shared her distinct viewpoint and said that Kyo wouldn't be the same without his cast. The day was filled with friendship, laughter, and the sweet taste of Kyo's newfound freedom. When Chihiro went away, Anna asked Kyo about his arm. He told her that his right arm got a lot skinny and he couldn't lift heavy weight either. He made Anna worried and went away. During the class, Kyo was wondering. Anna was definitely going to choose the dancing class. He received messages from Anna. She told him that it was fine if both of them won't talk during school, but they should at least make eye contact. Kyo hesitated and wasn't sure about making eye contact with Anna, but when he saw her, she was also looking at him and smiled. Kyo was feeling stressed, and later the gym class started. During the gym class, the sensei asked for a daki. The students laughed and thought that he definitely would have chosen the dancing class. Kyo was nervous because Anna was still in the gym class and proved him wrong. Anna was talking to Chihiro and told her that she wasn't good at dancing class at all and was glad because she came with her. Anna smelled a strange aroma from her uniform and got worried. She asked Chi to smell it too because she was getting frustrated with it. Chi told her that uniforms from the school sometimes smelled like that, and it was common. When Chi smelled it, she coughed, which made Anna panicked because she thought that it was really bad. Kyo wanted to give Anna his uniform, but he knew that it would only make things more weird, which was the least thing he wanted at that time. The sensei told all the students that they were gonna practice sparring and also told them to make pairs. All the students started talking to each other and made the most suited pair. Kyo was standing alone quietly. Anna excuses her friends and tries to come near Kyo. He couldn't believe it, and suddenly the sensei grabbed Kyo and threw him on the floor because he wanted to show everyone how to perform ouchigari throw. Kyo was unable to process what happened and went flying to the ground. He laid on the floor and sensei told him that it was a nice fall, but it was completely unintentional for Kyo. All the students started practicing. When Kyo saw Anna, she was standing alone. Kyo went near her and touched her through his foot, and then both started the sparring practice. Anna was hesitating and told Kyo that she stinks because of her uniform. Kyo pushed her toward the wall and asked her if that was the reason she didn't want to practice sparring with anyone else. Anna pushed him with her force and threw him on the floor. She told him that it was the payback for him. Kenta talked to Kyo and told him that he really got along with Yamada. Kyo blushed and tried to tell him about some smell. Kenta got surprised. He shook hands with him and told him that smelly girls were the best. Kyo's voice was changing. He remembered about the time when he talked to Anna. Kyo knew that once he grew up there was no way Anna and he could keep up their relationship the same way. He thought that Anna thought of him the same as her other friends. He went to the schoolyard and saw her smiling. Kyo knew that there was nowhere around it but through it. He couldn't ignore Anna at all again. In the library, Anna was trying to listen to Kyo's voice. He told her that it was just hard to speak for him because whenever he tried to speak loudly, his voice cranked. Anna got worried and asked him if it was because he catched the cold. She was sad because he had to go home during the snow. Kyo told her that it wasn't cold and he just thought that his voice was changing. Kyo was embarrassed, but Anna thought that it was very cool for him because he got voice change and facial hair whenever they grew up. Anna was excited for his new voice. Kyo told her that was the part he hates most. Anna held his hand and thought that his left arm didn't get skinny, but his right one got bigger. Kyo was surprised because he didn't think about it that way. The day is just around the corner and the girls in the classroom are planning out the agenda for the day. Yes, it is Valentine's Day and all of the girls are very excited thinking about what they are going to do that day. They all have several plans in mind, but they want to map it out before they choose some of them. Moeka, for one, has been counting down the days from Valentine's Day to the 2nd. She is the most excited one for the day, and she is also the one that started this random discussion. She wants to discuss everything they can think they can do for the day. Anna is also excited now that the topic is up, and she has various things in mind they can do for the day. The rest of them are a little pumped up, but not that. I guess they really do not care how the day goes. They just want to have some fun for the day. They are talking it out, and Moeka really wants to hear options now for the different stuff they can have. Anna comes in with her creative mind and starts bombing the discussion with all of the things she has in mind for the day. She tells them that they can take care of the little girls for the day as their seniors. She really cares about their juniors and wants to do something nice for them for once. She tells them that they can also do all of the work for the day together with them, so they have any kind of activity jammed in this as well, to keep it a little more lively. Then she wants to just go out and spend the rest of the time walking near the classes of those girls, to feel the heat of the classes. She says this, and all of them start laughing in happiness. They are all looking forward to this, and some more suggestions come into the discussion when we see our MC sitting in his seat hearing their discussion. He has heard everything, and it kind of creeps him out. He is the introverted type and has never really thought about these days and what it can mean for his life. He really has not even tried anything on this particular day, as he knows he cannot get anywhere near the competition. He is just weirded out hearing these girls, and he just knows that this year is just another year for him, and this day really does not mean anything to him. He goes back to what he was doing when we hear Moko suggesting that they should do something for the boys as well. She suggests that they should make something nice and special for the boys. Bayashiko is not really on with this plan, as it is going to be a lot of work for her, she knows, but the rest of them do not care about her feelings. The girls are up on this plan, and now they have to decide what they are going to be making. After a lot of ideas, they decide that they should make some type of sweet goodie for the boys, and this is where Moko tells them that they should do a chocolate goodie. This is the best she could come up with apparently, and the rest of them are on board with it. They are really looking forward to it, as they all love chocolate, and the things they will be making are going to be very exciting for sure. Moko notices MC sitting on his desk, and she teasingly goes to him and tells Anna that they should make something chocolatey for the boys. This is to tease our poor MC, and he knows it. Moko says that Anna will be making these things, and these are going to be very tasty for sure, another tease for MC. Anna comes to her and tells her that she is really happy with this plan, and now they should decide where they are going to be doing all the cooking and stuff. Moko thinks about it and tells her that her home is available, and they can do it there, but Anna does not seem happy with it. She is not really happy with doing this plan at Moko's, so she tells her that they should come to her house for the day. Saying this, she gives MC some weird looks as she is doing this for her. MC gets really confused seeing her move her face so strangely. Moko gets the things Anna is trying to do, and is on board with her plan. She tells MC that he is going to be coming as well, which kind of surprises him. He gets thinking as to why he should come when it is a girl's thing. They are making these chocolate goodies for the boys, so he should not be there, right? But after school, Anna texts him and tells him that he is invited and should come. So the day is here and all of them have to go to Anna's for the cooking. MC is here right on time, and he is currently standing outside the apartment building. He thinks to himself as to why he is here really. He wonders if the invite for him is a mistake, and if he is not meant to be here, but he checks the message again, and it does not seem that way. He knew that Moko was going to be coming only, but the shock on his face was visible when he saw Bayashiko and Serena coming to the apartment building as well. He thought these three were going to be alone, but these two were invited as well. This gets him wondering if the invite was really a mistake because, in his mind, Anna's friends think of him as the weird guy from their classroom only. They would not want him there, so it is clear to him that he was not invited. This hurts his self-respect, and it hurts like hell. He goes away feeling like a knife stuck in his chest. He feels like dying more than he ever felt for the last half-decade. He can barely walk with the sheer embarrassment just felt. Walking back, he bumps into Moko. She does not want him to go, so she grabs him and drags him back to the building, saying that he is not going anywhere now. She drags him to Anna's apartment. They go to the apartment, and upon ringing, Anna comes outside with a chocolate bar in her hands. She has been eating it for a while, that much is clear, but her friends wonder if she has any left for the real reason they are here. She tells them that there is a lot inside, so they should not worry. MC is constantly asking himself if he really belongs here, as this does not look like a thing a guy should be invited to. They go in, but going in, Moko tells MC that Anna's mother is a really strict woman, so he should be careful. He is already so nervous, but this information has struck another kind of nervousness in him now. They go in, and Anna's mother greets them all in, but seeing a boy with them confuses her. She starts asking him if he is really a boy, and if he is, how he knows her daughter. He has to answer here, but the sheer pressure is not letting his tongue function. He wonders if he should say that he is a friend of hers because he really doubts that. Is he a friend? What is a friend really? These are the questions running around in his mind right now, and so he cannot answer properly. But Moko comes to the rescue and tells her that MC here is her boyfriend. They are dating and she wanted her boyfriend to be here. This shocks everyone, including MC. Mom goes away saying that she can never get how the kids these days do things. Anyways, they go in and get the things ready for the cooking. Everyone has their aprons, so they wear them. MC has a hard time wearing his, so Anna comes and gives him a little help with it. Seeing her help MC, her mother is really confused. The thing that bothers her is why is she helping him when his girlfriend is right here. Anna notices this, and so does Moko. Moko comes to the rescue again and takes Anna's plane to help MC. She does it perfectly, but this is very embarrassing for MC. He cannot stand the insult he is feeling right now. Anna's mother totally suspects him, but he cannot just leave here. The cooking starts and Moko asks MC to pass her a thing on the table that she needs. Anna's mother is constantly watching everything MC is doing, so Anna tells her that they can take it from here and she should go. Saying this, she pushes her out of the kitchen, but her mother is worried if these are going to be fine on their own. They are fine, and this is the opportunity Moko takes to tell MC what he has to do. Anna is not in the kitchen, and she tells MC that he has to now think of what he is going to be doing about Anna. She says this in a coded sentence, and it confuses Bayashiko. She asks about what Moko meant by this, but Serena shuts her up, saying she needs to not focus on what she is saying right now. They do the work as they are talking. Hearing Serena talking like this makes Bayashiko feel so naive. She feels like she doesn't even know anything that happens around her. She is there all the time, but she does not understand half of the things they say and do. This must mean that her friends are growing very fast, and she is the only one left that has to grow now. This makes her feel very dumb. Only she and Anna are the ones that are kids in her opinion. But the others do not want to believe this, and it makes them stop doing what they are doing for a second as well. Anyways, Moko brings up another topic and asks everyone if they know what kind of food Anna likes and does not like. This is a hard one because no one knows for certain. Anna is a very close and introverted type of person. She does not talk about herself that much to anybody, and that is really the reason Mocha wants to know this. MC might know the answer to this question, but he does not want to shoot where he might miss. Bayashiko speaks up saying that even she doesn't know what kind of food Anna likes. This is very weird because she is the one who knows her the longest. They were in elementary school together when they met. Bayashiko starts explaining how she felt when she first met Anna. They met, and they were standing together for the selection of the female basketball team. Bayashiko looked to her right and saw Anna so huge and tall. She tells them that at first when she saw Anna, she thought of her as a really weird person. She was so tall and she was huge. She was literally miles away from her, and it made her feel as if she was an alien of some sort. She just started roasting the hell out of Anna right when she got the chance. She always thought of her as the really strange girl who she never got the chance to talk to. But one time she was going back after the practice when she saw Anna practicing alone. She was alone in the whole court, but what she was doing surprised her the most. She was not practicing basketball but spinning the ball on her finger. She tried it multiple times, but it did not work. It meant so much to her that she started crying after so many attempts and failing. This made Bayashiko feel that maybe she was not a bad person after all. She was never bad though. This proved to her that no matter how you look from the outside, you can be the totally opposite from the inside. But Moko wanted to know what kind of food Anna liked, not how she was from the inside. Moko tells her that it does not tell him what kind of food she likes, so why the hell is she ranting about this? Bayashiko was not trying to tell them what food she liked, but just sharing a random story. She finished the story by saying that she went to Anna and asked her why she was crying. Anna was shocked that Bayashiko had come to her. Anna told her that she liked doing this and wanted to be good at it. She then started praising Bayashiko, saying that she is so small, and yet she trains so much. It really surprised her because the teacher deemed her the best player in the school, but still, she practiced every day without a gap. No one wanted to know this story, but here it is, I guess. She ends this story by saying that Anna then started saying very good stuff about her and also told her that she is really cool and all that. Hearing this does not impress anyone because they know she is just adding these things. Moko asks Serena to pass her something, and Serena does. Bayashiko feels not so good about herself after this and wants to just focus on the work now. Moko tells her that there is no way Anna went that far and praised her like that, but Bayashiko is not going to prove her point. But during all of this, MC is constantly thinking about the food Anna likes and does not like. After a lot of thinking, he knows he cannot get this right, but it hits him. Why the hell is he thinking this? He is just invited here to be a part of this, and he does not even belong here. He knows Anna does not think of him that way, so he wants to distract himself from these random thoughts. He focuses on the work he is doing, but we see Anna and her mother coming back. Her mother tells her that she cannot leave these kids alone like that. So Anna tells her that she can stay here, but she has to sit on the sofa quietly only. Seeing her mother, Moko tells MC that they have to think about this and decide how they are going to take their fake relationship in front of her. MC has no idea what she is talking about, but Moko tells her that he has to call her by her first name so it looks a little more real. MC has never called her this, so this is very hard, but Moko tells him that it is important for him to call her by her first name. He tries it, and after so much stammering, he gets her first name out. He called her Moko, but Serena had enough of this. She expresses her anger by banging the bowl very hard, leaving everyone shocked. She says that she cannot let this happen. Bayashiko, being all dense, has no idea why she reacts this way and finds her very rude. Everyone is left speechless by Serena's reaction as Bayashiko goes back to work as if nothing happened. After a little while, MC is alone and doing something with the dishes when Anna decides to come to him and ask him about his experience here so far. She has seen him have a fake relationship with Moko in front of her mother, and she doesn't like it. She goes to him and asks him if he is having fun or not. The way she asked him looked like she was going to suck his soul out of his eyes just by staring this way. My man just felt the devil staring into his soul with a cute face. It leaves MC shocked and really terrified that he has to make an excuse to get out of it. He goes to the washroom, saying that he has to take a leak right now. Going to the washroom, he is forced to wonder if the day going here is really okay. He is sitting on the toilet when he hears himself from above. We see a version of himself talking to him, being above him on the wall like Spider-Man. MC is getting asked if he really has to lie like this. The real one tells the other that he cannot do anything, and Moko starts it all without telling him, so he has to play along. But the other asks him what he is going to do when he starts dating Anna in the future. He wants to know how the hell is he going to tell Anna's mother how his relationship with her daughter came to be. He cannot just tell her that he broke up with Moko and started dating her daughter. That would look really bad and she would not really trust him that way. But the real him knows that dating Anna is a miracle that can never happen. He knows how Anna sees him and how she treats him. The way she treats him feels like she is not interested in him. But the other him says that he cannot just give up on the miracle he wants to happen so badly. He has to work for it, and without that, it can never become a reality. The real him knows this is true, but there is a risk involved. He knows he can root for himself to be Anna's boyfriend, but if that never happens, it would leave him very hurt, and that would mean depression and everything that comes with that. He does not want that for himself, and so, he is willing to let go of this dream. The other him disappears after this, and he decides that he is going to go home now without telling anyone. That talk was one of the most serious talks I have seen, but I couldn't help but laugh at the way the guy was sticking to the ceiling. He goes out and puts on his shoes, ready to leave. As he is leaving, Anna's mother sees him and asks him about why he is leaving so early. She caught him off guard, but he told her that he had to just leave now. He grabs the door handle ready to leave, but gets back in to tell her something. Anna comes here as well, but MC does not care. He tells her mother that his dating Miyoko was a lie and he apologizes for it. Saying this, he leaves, but he does not want to. He is outside and he wonders if the miracle that he wants can be true or not. He wants to believe in himself and in the miracle itself. He is thinking this when Anna's mother opens the door. She sees MC standing outside, so she asks him if his name is Mkawa. She knows him, and after he tells her yes, she tells him that she remembers him. She saw him during the teachers' parents' conferences, and Anna told her that he and she talk a lot. In fact, she also told her that she likes. As she is about to finish this sentence, Anna comes out, interrupting her from completing her sentence. She wants her mother to come inside because she is needed. She goes inside and MC is about to leave when Anna grabs his hand, saying that he should stick a bit longer. MC really does not want to because he feels very unwanted here. But Anna assures him that he is welcome here and she loves him being here. She is really curious as to why he went along with Moko's lie. He tells her that if he did not, he would have had to tell her mother why he was there. And he also did not want her to lie to her mother about him again, so he cleared her up himself. This leaves Anna touched and she is really happy about him staying. Now they both go in to help others, but they go into the kitchen and notice all of them very scared of something while working. We see a huge giant person standing with them and telling them how it is done. The girls are shaking like crazy and this person is like a monster cursed on them. MC freaks out, panicking, wondering what this thing is. The giant thing stops as soon as MC comes into the kitchen. He stands in front of MC for a while before he goes to his room, saying literally nothing. All the girls are scared as hell, and even MC is terrified of what he just witnessed. Who wouldn't? That guy was literally an Eiffel Tower teaching the girls how to cook. He asks Anna if that is her dad, and it is. The girls come out from the shock and wonder who that giant person really was. Anna comes to Moko and thanks her for lying for her in front of her mom, but Moko does not care about that for now. They have moved far away from that thing whenever that giant thing came into the kitchen. They all get to know that it is not a giant but Anna's dad. He is a chef in fact and cooks French food. This makes sense as to why he was helping all of them. MC on the other hand is still in shock. He thinks about it and he remembers her dad because he saw them that time before outside the lift once. And the dead stare he gives surely fills in the body with creeps. MC cannot forget that, and he looks to the room her dad went to see him sneakingly looking at him, which scares him more. Anna comes to him, and they are talking when her dad comes out of the room again. Without saying anything, he comes in front of MC and gives him that dead stare again. He knows this is it, he cannot lie anymore. He knows about him and his daughter, and he should just tell him the truth. But Anna's dad has only one thing to ask him, if he plays games or not. He tells him yes, he does, so he takes MC to his room and hands him a controller so they can play games. Dad sure feels lonely because no one here plays games with him. Those dead eyes, now I feel you my guy, literally just wants someone to play games with and he can't get even that. How sad. He is really excited, but it is not visible though. They are about to play a game when Moko comes up and asks Anna if he really is a chef. Moko thinks that all the chefs have that fancy attractive look with their hair slicked back, but that vibe is not coming off of her dad. She is telling her this when her dad sets his hair back slicked, throwing a flash of charisma toward Moko. Anna hears her dad saying that no one here plays games with him, so she takes the controller from MC and starts playing with him. After this, they get back to the chocolates they were making and they are done. They want to give a test taste, and the first one is going to be Anna's dad. It is because he is a real chef, and he also helped them with this. They all go to his room while MC and Anna are alone behind. She pulls him behind the curtain and gives him a piece of chocolate to taste. He takes it from her and takes a bite. It is a bit sweet for him, so Anna tastes the same one, saying that she is glad that MC is here to tell her this. They all go home, and on the way, MC is exhausted. Moko tells him that he had the perfect day today, but he missed it. On this note, MC brings up the fact that Moko was trying to help him surely, but she was also having fun with it. He did not like that, and so he wants her to never do that again. They go home, and after reaching home, NC's sister comes up and asks him where he is. Upon telling, she is very surprised to hear that he spent the entire day at a girl's house with other girls. She thinks that her little brother is rizzing up those girls, but MC gets a call from Anna, and he goes to his room to pick it up. Picking it up, Anna asks him how the day was for him and how her parents felt about him. He tells her that the day was good, and he thought of her parents as those strict ones, but he was wrong. On the other hand, he asks her what her parents thought about him. Anna is happy with the way her dad asked about him after he left. He asked Anna what his name was and what his friend code was. He wanted to come again sometime so he could play games with him. So this is clearly a green flag. Mom was also happy with how her friends were. Anna keeps asking him again and again how his day is, so this kind of irritates him a bit. But the call ends and he goes outside to have a drink with his sister. She is drinking and eating fries while MC is just having a drink. She randomly asks him when he is going to ask her out, which takes him by surprise. He spills half of the drink out on this question, and the reaction says it all. He tries telling her sister that there is no way he can be with Anna ever, but he does not want it to be that way. His sister tells him that he is just in junior high, so there is a lot of time and he can take it slow. But the other side to this thing is that his feelings can change as he grows up, and maybe someday, he would not even have those feelings for Anna anymore. This clearly bugs him because he knows he will never feel another way about Anna. He feels like he will always like her no matter what, so there is only one question for her sister to ask, and she asks him, what does he want? It is very hard for him to speak his heart out, but right now, the heart is spilling like crazy and it comes out. He tells her that he wants her to be his boyfriend. Saying this, there is a bit of silence and both of them look at each other. They freak out together hearing what MC just said. Sister feels like he is high right now. In fact, MC cannot believe what just came out of his mouth. But he knows now what he wants, and the next day, MC and Anna are walking to the school together when it hits him. He wants her to finally do what he wants, and he gives her a little pull on the sleeve, signaling his feelings toward her.